Qué grande. A ver si nos ve o hay que, para cómo es, a dónde estamos.
Ay, ¿dónde manejamos el tema del micrófono?
No, acá no hay tema de micrófono.
Está
muy precario.
Ah, no, acá, mirá, acá está apagado, mirá. Está apagado. Lo manejamos de ahí de la compu.
¿Para qué?
¿Y cómo nos ven? ¿Dónde está la cámara? No nos van a ver. La cámara es la de la compu.
Sí, es la de la compu. Es la de la compu. ¿Para qué?
Okay. Now, yes, you can listen to us. Can you? Hello? Hello?
We can listen to you.
Pero pará, porque si está el micrófono apagado no van a escuchar.
We had our micro off. Can you listen to us? No.
Yes. Yes, we can.
Okay. The thing is that when we started, I had the micro off and I had to switch it on with the remote. The volume?
We don't see you.
You don't what?
We cannot see you.
You cannot see us.
The camera is off.
Their camera.
Or ours.
But
Good morning.
hello.
No, we can see ourselves there.
So they should see us. A ver cómo se dice. ¿Por qué no nos pueden ver? Si yo pongo así como estamos, nos están viendo. ¿Por qué no nos están viendo? Para que no nos vieran.
Ya estamos por videoconferencias la
¿Está
tradicional,
tildado?
digamos, porque...
Andrea.
Pero, sí. ¿Quién me llama?
Ah, ahí me escuchaste.
Sí, ¿a quién escuché? No sé.
Ah, Gladys de 33.
Gladys, ¿cómo estás?
Bien, bien. ¿Nos ves? No.
No.
¿No nos estás viendo?
No, estamos viendo en pantalla grandes minas,
No.
los chiquitos.
Andrea, el tema es que en 33 no estamos con una videoconferencia de las convencionales, digamos.
Sí, están con Cisco, ya me dijeron.
Esta es la Cisco, sí, es la Cisco. Pero tendrías que vernos, ¿no? Nosotros te vemos perfectamente.
Me ven.
Sí,
Y te escuchamos.
y también te escuchamos.
Ah, yo traje un parlante.
Ah, mejor si tenés.
¿Lo ponemos acá?
Sí.
Porque creo que traje...
A ver si tiene algo de la imagen acá.
Acá lo traje, mira.
Esto es para poner y sacar la foto.
Ayuda, lo traje.
A ver, vamos a pedir ayuda porque...
Mira.
Ya vengo, Gladys.
Sí, sí, no hay problema.
A ver cómo están las entradas. Acá.
¿En qué carpeta está el Backboard Designs?
¿El qué?
¿En qué carpeta está el Backboard Designs?
No,
Nos
está
pasó esto también de la camarita que quedó en gris. No sé por qué. Una vez nos pasó. Viste que esta es la imagen propia.
Bueno, termina más.
Ah, ya no nos ven.
Claro, pero ya nos pasó esto una vez. Y después anduvo bien, pero no entiendo por qué.
¿Por qué pasa?
¿Por qué pasa eso? No sé. ¿Por qué, a ver, en gris no da la opción a...
Estamos teniendo ahí en pantalla chiquita, miras, ¿no?
Sí,
San José, es la grande.
sí.
¿Sabés lo que nos pasa acá?
Sí.
¿Sabés lo que nos pasa? Que ya pasó una vez esto. Donde dice mostrar vista propia, está en gris, no da la opción de apretarla o de agregarla o no. Capaz que si cortan, vuelven a llamar o es Iván la que está coordinando.
Lo que pasa es que nosotros no podemos cortar porque es multipunto. Si cortamos, se corta toda la video. Yo voy a llamar a Iván, porque eso lo tiene que arreglar
A ver,
Iván.
saca tu parlante. Ahí.
Capaz que tengo que ayudar a ellos porque están con una computadora personal, ¿no?
Sí, sí, sí. Llamas a Iván que se comunica ya el centro.
Y lo otro es que San José no nos ve.
Ahí es.
Bueno, dale.
¿San José sigue sin vernos?
¿Cómo?
No,
San José. Hola. Pero yo creo que apagar el micrófono.
Acá estamos, lo que pasa es que no podemos verlas.
No nos puede ver San José tampoco.
San José no las ve.
San José no nos ve.
Sí.
Y nosotros no vemos.
¿Y San José tiene la cámara prendida?
¿Cómo? ¿Cómo sabe? Eso no tendría que estar ya aprendido. Ustedes, en su pantalla, San José, en su pantalla.
Ahora sí podemos verlas.
Ah,
Iniciamos
ok.
la tele y podemos.
¿Qué hicieron?
Apagamos y prendimos la tele y sí, está.
Ah, ok, se arregló. Muy bien, por favor, la pantalla. Well, now, too many things at the same time.
No, don't worry. It's okay.
Another thing. I don't think I will be able to make any magic now. Give me some seconds that I have to connect my computer because I don't want to run out of battery.
No.
And we are waiting
Don't worry.
for this because they are connected through a computer to the program and they cannot see us.
Don't worry.
Did I say hello to you, Eliana?
I don't know.
I was.
Hello.
I was. Stressed. Is there? It works. It doesn't work. We have to. Yeah, it works.
Yes.
And if you need, you can.
I'll try. Hopefully.
It doesn't work. Can be the church.
The thing is, look at this. Come. I took it from a hair dryer.
Here is your certificate.
Please, bear it in mind.
It works? Okay. So Cynthia is there, and Monica. Now I'm just getting familiar with the faces because photographs and moving people are different.
Yes.
Then in the darkness down there,
De todas maneras,
because that room in Minas is dark. We have Lucia. Okay, Lucia. Is there any possibility that you switch on some lights closer to you?
I think they are all on.
No, but now when it got bigger, and Florencia. Okay, the lights are behind. Don't worry. When the screen gets smaller, we cannot see you very well. But when it takes the whole monitor, we see you.
Okay.
So now we are seeing you well. Lucia and Florencia. Verónica Pereira, no, it's not in Minas. She's in Maldonado and she's not going to come. Well, and I guess we have there Leticia and Ana in 33.
Yes.
Who said yeah? 33?
Ana and Leticia. Leticia and Ana.
Ana is speaking, right?
Yes.
¿nos escuchás?
Yes. Hello.
Escucho y reconocí la voz de Ana.
Anna is closer to the computer.
And that is Leticia.
Yes, I'm here.
So my ear is still good.
That was Anna. I am Leticia now.
Yes, but the last one who talked was you, Leticia. Don't cheat me.
It was me. Anna.
Yes, it's Anna. Well, it's difficult without seeing you. Let's try it again. One of you without.
Sorry.
One of you in 33, without saying your name, say something. 33, say something. One of you.
What?
I want to see if I recognize the voices. Hello, 33.
Hi, how are you?
Ana,
Hi.
Leticia.
No.
Leticia.
I did it wrong. I did it wrong.
What?
I did it the other way
Yes,
around.
you did it wrong.
Yes.
You are kidding me. Okay, and here we have, although you, Ana, and
No.
Mauricio, Carolina, and Eliana are here.
I'm sorry, Andrea.
You're sorry for what? They have delay.
Yes, this is the problem.
What's up? Look at this. This is a shame. Don't look at it.
I don't know, but if he's ashamed, I feel okay, because I also feel ashamed of all this.
Andrea, maybe there is delay, but we have a computer and the volume in the computer is really low.
Yes, I know. You have to wear headphones. Have you got headphones?
I have one, but there is only we can use only one headphone with the computer.
Yes, but you can share.
We can share, okay, but we have to be like close.
Like too close. Well, this is
Gladys says if you can be closer to the microphone.
But
yeah, I know.
I'm close to the microphone. The microphone is next to me. The problem with Cisco is I use it when I teach classes in aulas alternativas. If I don't wear my headphones, I cannot listen, and my students cannot listen to me either. But I don't know. Your audio is good.
Okay, we are going to try.
If you plug the headphone, share one earbud each, that is going to be better. Tell me what happens when you do that.
Okay, wait a minute.
You see what happens with time. Is 9:13 already?
They fixes everything.
Yeah.
But
And barbed wire. I'm sorry.
Okay, while 33 gets connected again, can you hear me, Ana and Leticia?
Yes, we can.
Okay, and we have like 5 seconds delay.
And now we can.
Yes.
You see, I don't know, it's 5 or 6. So Ana and Leticia, let's do something. When we speak here, I don't know what will happen in San Jose and Minas, but when we speak here, if it is not necessary, do not answer, because what is going to happen is that your answer is going to come in the middle of something that we continue saying. Okay?
Okay, yes, we understand. Yes.
But when I make a question, I have to remember to wait for your delay. Interrupt me when Gladys speaks. We were talking here about the calendar in the website of the SEMI, which I put on screen because Mauricio had asked me where our meeting was going to be here in Montevideo. He knew he was coming to Montevideo, but he didn't know whether it was going to be at IPA, at SEMI, IPES, and this appears here in the calendar. You have access to this calendar.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So what you have to do, I'm going to show, I think mine is the third one. Here it says conectar semi uno. This is semipresencial here, this room. So you can see where we are going to be. I don't mind answering all the questions that you ask me.
It's okay.
This is not because I'm scolding you. This is because sometimes there are some things that if I don't have to answer, we go faster. So that's why I'm showing you where to see. But feel free, if you cannot find it, ask me or ask someone else. Mm-hmm. And taking advantage of being here, I wanted to negotiate with you the next 2 meetings.
Okay.
Because from here they have decided the dates already. You knew that?
Yes.
Yes.
So we have to meet either for the second meeting, the 2nd or the 3rd of August. I took a screenshot because it was quite old, this message. And for the 3rd meeting, it has to be the 4th or 5th of October.
What are they?
If it
Fridays
is
and
Saturday,
Saturdays?
Saturday is better for
For
me.
me as well.
For me.
And there, Minas, San Jose, and 33, Saturdays is okay?
Yes, Saturday is okay.
So I think that the 3rd of August and the 5th of October are Saturdays. I'm going to check it, but
So the second meeting, Saturday or Friday?
I would prefer Friday.
who would prefer Friday?
Cynthia and Monica.
And me too, but it's
It's
fine.
okay.
What we can do is have one on Friday and the other on
And
Saturday.
here in 33 too, we prefer Fridays in 33 too.
So, let me San Jose and 33 Fridays. Minas, any day.
Yes, any day it's okay. I prefer Saturday, but it's okay.
We are 50-50. On Fridays, what happens? You're working
In the morning. In the morning.
in the morning.
Yes.
I work all day.
You work all day because we can have it in the afternoon on Friday. But
Yeah,
you-
sorry. Sure.
Yeah.
I work in the morning and then I have the teaching practice in the afternoon. That's why I prefer on Saturdays instead of Fridays. Because it is supposed that we shouldn't have class on.
Oh, hold on a
Yes.
second.
En Sebel me dicen si queremos probar a desconectar San José y volver a conectar a ver si se arregla el tema.
San José no,
ya
es 30. San José lo lograron.
Está.
Apagaron la computadora y la prendieron de vuelta.
Está. Este es el problema.
Sí, el 33 desde el Cisco.
Hola. ¿Sabes que la profe?
¿La pago entonces en 33?
No, esperar Gladys, que Lucía vino a chequear porque había un problema en San José que no nos podían ver a nosotros, pero lo arreglaron revisando la
bueno.
tele. Y ahora sigue el llamado Ceibal para arreglarlo de ustedes. Lucía Cerrón, ¿ok? Gladys.
Está buenísimo, dale.
Well, I get a little bit confused with...
Lucia was talking.
Lucia was talking...
Yes.
Yes, me. Here.
There, Lucia.
Yes, I have my teaching practice on Fridays afternoon.
Yes.
And I work in the morning, but I can arrange to have a day off in the morning. But I prefer to not be absent at high school. Yes.
Okay. Anyway, if there was no other solution, your absence is justified because of a meeting. Because as the meetings are compulsory, but let's try to meet everyone's needs. You can give your opinion. I think that it's going to be one on Friday and the other on Saturday.
Yes, it's okay. It's okay.
It's fair enough.
So as not to complicate all of you all the time. Some of you sometimes. So let's start by August. August when? Friday or Saturday?
Saturday?
Saturday, August? August.
Friday.
But if we have Friday in August, we are going to have Saturday in October. What, Mauricio? Do you agree?
Yes.
Okay.
She didn't listen to you, I think. She was not fighting. August. What's this? But here it's like what's this? I said 4 or 5.
You said
No.
In August, we have
Yes.
second and third.
Yes, but what did I say that second and third. 4 and 5 is October. Second and third. So in August it's going to be on Friday, the second.
Yes. Afternoon.
Well, and the time for me
Afternoon.
afternoon.
is the same. Okay. Afternoon. And in October it's going to be on Saturday, the 5th. And that morning, no?
Okay. It's Saturday.
Okay. Any complaint here? Do we all agree?
Yes, we agree.
Okay. So far so good. I'm going to inform here so that they save the date for us. And if anything comes up, because we can have a strike or something, we negotiate with time, but we already have that. Well, now 33 is delayed with Ceibal. I'm going to close this window so that not to have so many. And there is something we can do while 33 is still not connected. But 33 will need to see the monitor.
Maybe you can upload what you want to show us in the platform.
What I can do is transform the game into a challenge because it is a Kahoot. I wanted to start with a Kahoot. I should start with the agenda, in fact. Let's start with the agenda so that you know what I want for today and we see what happens if we can do what I wanted. Here are my notes. I'm going to describe everything that is on screen for 33, okay? Listening to me, 33? Leticia, Ana? Are you there?
Maybe with the headphones they can speak.
Maybe.
Maybe it's not like in the cell phone. I don't know.
They can.
Yes?
Yes, they should be able to. I sent Leticia is like the voice of the group.
Sigue quedando en gris.
Do you think you can zoom in? We are kind of far from the screen here.
Who said that, Monica?
Monica,
You're okay. You are asking if you are far.
we cannot see the screen. I mean, if you can zoom in. We can see the screen, but we cannot read because it's the letter is very tiny.
I don't know
Or
why.
I'm too old. I don't know.
No. It's
Yes, there. Thank you.
I don't know why that window is so big. I mean, I forgot how this looked. Well, there you are. Last night I opened this document, which I can share with you if you have computers there. and we can share the edition. I wrote, obviously, the date, the group, and that these are the first meeting notes and what I wanted to do. Introductions that we are going to do with Kahoot. Talk about this course outline, and here I'm going to refer to some of the materials I uploaded to the folder called reference materials. This is a diagram I would like to build with you. So I started it, but I stopped it because a didactic talk is going to come up here with all the questions that you brought and things that come when we start discussing what goes in the circles. And then I wanted to visit your needs analysis forum because honestly, you have been so active that I haven't had time to read everything that you have written. And as I gave you time until the 6th, I also waited to see. But I would have liked to have read before now this conversation because really you have been working. And you have shared with me, transmitted me an enthusiasm that is beautiful. It hadn't happened to me with another group of didactics until now.
Thank you.
Maybe it is because this is the first time I'm working with Didactics 3. And you are different from Didactics 1. You are in another position. Well, so I have here things we need to talk about. The needs analysis, what you are going to do or are already doing in relation to what you have found out. Planning, that here Mauricio and Carolina were asking me about the plan and the portfolio and the visits I'm going to be making, okay? So let's share this with the ones I can, like Monica and Cynthia. Cynthia, in San Jose?
Yes.
I am going to share with Cynthia, if you give me your email.
Mine, Sin Batista 22.
CYN.
Yes. Batista 22 @gmail.com.
You know how you say that in English?
Arroba, I don't.
Yeah. At gmail.com.
No, I didn't know that.
Here you are. It's okay?
Excellent.
And now what I have to do is change the settings because this is for profesorado semipresencial only. And I have to give you permission to edit. Okay. Cynthia. And then
Hasta no las enseñas.
Monica, you can see with Cynthia, right?
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yes,
she can.
Okay. Then I have delay. There we are in San Jose, right? Monica and Cynthia. Minas, we can't, because of the darkness, they are there. Florencia and Lucia, right?
Yes.
You have a computer there?
Yes, we have.
Okay, so give me the email of the one who is using the computer. Lu
Castro. Avi, con B corta.
She said AVI.
Yes. That's okay. Dot.
And the dot?
No. Dot. 11.
Castroavi.11.
Yes. At gmail.com.
Okay, and in... this is too big. And now I need Leticia or Ana. Have you got... Yes, you're working with a computer. Leticia, Ana, you listen to me?
Yes, we are listening to you.
And you have access to another computer apart from the one that you're using with Cisco?
Yes, we have.
Who? Ana or Leticia?
Ana.
Ana, give me your email.
Chulana Cristina.
Can you repeat?
Yes. Chulana Cristina.
Chulana it was. I think I remember it, but it was something out. Chula. Ah, chula. Chulana Cristina.
33 with numbers.
Yes.
@gmail.com.
Okay, and then here I share with Mauricio.
Mauricio Patra. All together.
Mauricio Pata
77 at gmail.com.
Okay. Well, sent. Okay, have that at hand because we will be working with that. The Kahoot I wanted to play. What I can do is make it a challenge so that you can play on your cell phones individually, and it is fair for 33 while we wait.
Do you need your backpack? Do you need your backpack? No.
Well, I have to make it disappear. Okay, I created this Kahoot to continue building this community of learners and practice students and tutor. And I used the information you uploaded in the building community in Schoology. So, did you read each other's presentations?
Yes.
To an extent. To an extent. Not too much.
So,
I haven't got much time so far. But
I know.
I'll come to
But you have all been participating well.
Okay.
Sometimes it takes longer, but I see the intention of being there. So what I'm going to do now is to transform the game into a challenge. And I will have to share it. What you need to play this game is your cell phone and the application downloaded, Kahoot. You can play individually, or if you are there together, you can be a team and use one of the telephones, as you wish.
It is a Play Store, I think.
Can we play online? Or we have to download the app? No,
To play Kahoot, to play the challenge, you need the application.
Is it too heavy? Because
No, it isn't. It is, but if you
can play
share-
online. You can use it online. You don't have to download it.
You can use it online only if we do it the traditional way. The traditional way is you see the questions on the monitor and you answer on your phone. But I'm not doing that because of Leticia and Ana. So what
I
you
understand.
you open the game that you created, you use Kahoot.
Any of them?
Kahoot,
first one?
the first one. You open the game that you have created and you make it a challenge. So you can set until when the challenge is going to be active, and you receive a link or a pin that you have to share with the players. So you have a group, right, in WhatsApp.
Yes.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to send the link to Leticia using WhatsApp. And Leticia, You share with
I'm sorry, Andrea. It's Leticia here. I don't have my phone. So if you don't mind, I'm going to play with Anna. Is it okay?
Yes, you can play with Anna. The thing is that I have to share the link with
Do you
Anna
have
then.
space enough?
Para que te toca anotar ahora. Para
And I don't want
me
to.
agregaron.
Or else.
En la luna. Mónica Vide, ¿verdad?
Create an account like a teacher, and you can use it later.
Okay, let's do this. On screen you have the pin. It's going to be better the pin because otherwise it takes long. I have to copy the challenge link. The challenge link is not completely visible here. And send it through WhatsApp and resend it, blah, blah, blah. So use the pin. Once you have downloaded the Kahoot, join the game.
Let's see if now I can do it.
And you will have some questions about your classmates. And for each question, you have 20 seconds. And for some of them, you have 10 seconds.
Can I do it? Then
Okay, you can't?
no, I have no
I mean-
space.
So you can play with her, the three of you with her. Okay, in Montevideo we have a group with one telephone. Yes. Monica and
You could?
I was installing the app.
yeah. You are playing with one? Monica or Lucia?
No, wait. I'm just installing everything.
Sorry, I made a mistake.
Cynthia.
Cynthia. And I have Lucia and Florencia in me. Oh,
Yes.
this is
María, accept. Okay.
Should I write my name somewhere?
You,
Does it
you
ask
got
you?
it already?
Maybe press 1 or.
You can help her because you did it.
Yes, but I have already an account.
What happened? Here they are playing.
Ay, por favor, cállate un poquito.
Who have you started?
H, Cynthia.
Yes. We were writing our nicknames.
Okay.
Yeah, now we are in. Leticia Collazo. They are asking.
Shall we start?
Hold on a second.
No,
Have you all copied the pin?
has a daughter and one sister, I think. Yes. We
Florencia,
are already.
Okay.
We are already playing.
You're already playing.
Yes.
And I wanted to change the timer. We have 20 seconds for everything. You can play.
You can play?
You can play, yes.
Lucia.
Lucia, Florencia.
What?
Pebble.
Yes, Pedrita. Flintstones.
Yes, the girl was called Pebble.
Yeah,
Pebbles.
Pebbles.
Wait, but why am I seeing this?
What are you saying?
That Monica and Cynthia has.
They have started.
Okay. Okay.
Show me how to play.
Sorry, I'm going to put this. I don't know how to.
You don't know. We just see people.
Lucia and Florencia, are you okay?
Yeah, touch
Yes,
the
we
one.
are playing.
You're playing. And 33?
Okay, go.
We are playing.
Okay.
Okay.
But you're not.
Yes. Yeah. You can press it.
Leticia. She's Leticia.
Yes. Someone has two photos.
Can you see the photos? Can you see the
Yes.
Is it the girl?
Oh.
Wrong.
Yes. Yes, that's right.
Okay, you do. Good.
I'm a bad,
Probably.
I'm a bad partner. Yes.
Okay.
You finished?
Yes.
Oh, no.
I thought it was this.
Yes. The next, you press it.
Okay, I need to write.
Ah, round number 2.
Why Eliana has a mouth? Okay, you know that. You do it. No, you do. It's yourself. No, you do. This is a correct library. This one. We were out of time.
We finished.
You finished? Did you have fun?
I think we finish.
How did you
When
do?
we complete the 3 challenges, we are done, right?
Yes, you are. And you get a score, do you?
Yes.
And you see the scores of the others.
Yeah. We
We
got one wrong.
Science.
Now we quickly will go over it. Florencia and Lucia,
You know, because you're related to.
you are at it. They're still playing. We see dark
Probably this, no?
silhouettes. They are in Minas. Leticia and Ana,
It's about myself and I'm not sure.
We finished
and
We lost.
and we got 8 of 9 correct.
8 of 9.
Yes.
You can see the score. Who is the winner? Because I don't know if I can.
Outlet.
Anna.
We Ana and Leticia.
Good for you, because you are the handicapped ones. Okay, that's a bad game, but bad joke.
No, it's okay.
But it's here within us. Well, when I finished this game, I realized that I should have included a 10th question, because I am in the game as well.
Yes.
But, well, it was done, and you don't know what happened yesterday. I had finished this game that took me a long time in the morning, and when I wanted to save it, the computer wouldn't save it. The connection, yeah, and it wouldn't. I had a lot of windows open, and I started closing all of them so that it would work, but it didn't. I went to do some shopping, I came back, and it didn't, and finally I had to do it again.
Oh my God.
I had to do it again in the afternoon before going to Teatro de Verano. I mean, with the time like running, and my grandson jumping on my
On your back.
yes, because something interesting that you would like to know is that my grandson has a disorder that is called sensory integration disorder. Have you heard about that?
No, how it shows.
It shows because they cannot associate the stimuli that comes in through the different senses. So, autistic people have that disorder as well. And that's why at the beginning they thought he was autistic. But he didn't have all the characteristics of an autistic person, so they continued investigating. They know because it was his mother, myself, the psychologists, the occupational therapist that we found, that she discovered, she knew about it. She didn't discover anything. She knew about the disorder, and she identified it in Franco.
And how old is he?
5. But he was late starting to talk. He started school at 2, and the teachers started getting worried because he wouldn't communicate what he wanted, and he isolated a little bit. Then autistic disorder, the spectrum. I summarize more or less what happened. Now, what I know is that if he is listening to you and looking at your face at the same time, at the beginning of his process, he gets distracted by your eyes, your nose, your mouth, because the information that he's receiving through the ear is not the same. It doesn't coincide with what he's looking at. He's not listening eyes, nose, mouth. He's listening to what he has to do, for example. That is a simplistic way of explaining it.
Yes.
But I learned that we don't have 5 senses. We have 8, or maybe more, because you remember Howard Gardner?
Yes. The different intelligences.
How many he started with?
7.
7, but then he continued with 8, 9, and then there are a lot of intelligence. Then there are so many that his theory was left behind by others. I don't know the names of them, but the investigations or the research of neuroscientists who have discovered other things that help in learning. Well, and this is some of it. You have the vestibular sense, that is the one that allows you to keep balance. And then what happens with him is that when he swings or he loses contact with the ground, he doesn't understand what is going on. He needs more time, more or less stimuli to understand the input that is coming to his brain through the different senses. And then imagine vestibular, proprioceptive, that is having conscience of your own body, where your hands are at this moment. You don't need to look at them to know how your fingers are, that Monica's fingers are touching her mouth. She knows exactly what it looks like, but they need to look. So when he's walking, he has this that are called stereotypias. I don't know what the name in English. That he's moving his arms like this and looking at his feet walking, because he needs to look at his body to see what is going on with it. It's fascinating.
Yes.
It's fascinating because when you learn that, you learn how to help him learn. And then he's not different or handicapped or anything. It's just knowing, okay.
It's good to know.
Yes.
It's good to know. That's why I'm taking time to tell you. Well, going quickly over the Kahoot, please, when you see that I leave the ground, I take off and I go away with my talk, bring me back, because I have a problem. That is, I forget where I started. Really. Because I get so enthusiastic about what we are talking about that I forget. And then teacher talking time starts unbalancing. So stop me and remind me where we started. Well, here we are, that Leticia and Anna, I put the game on screen, the answers, but I'm reading, right? So that we go quickly.
But we can see you.
You can?
We can see you, yes, we can see you. And we can listen to you, but you can't do it. We can see what's on the screen now.
Ah, okay. Okay. So the only problem is that I can't see you. But it's okay. I know you. Leticia, the answer for Leticia, the correct one was that she has
a daughter and
one sister. The picture was tricky because I put the 2 girls, but one is not her daughter.
She's my niece.
She told you.
She's my niece.
Right.
Her sister's daughter, obviously. Lucia, who is in Minas, right? Share this picture, you got it right?
Attending our young learners.
Yes.
yes, attending her young learners and of course performance.
And what did you get? What did you think?
Attending her young learners.
You got it right.
We did it right.
But my options were well thought, weren't they?
Yes.
Just taking selfies.
Well, not getting married because she has a.
Well, no, you
How do
never
say
know.
tunica?
A pinafore, an overall.
No.
Yeah, I didn't pay attention to the overall.
I thought it was a shirt.
I thought it was a shirt also. Well, that was Lucia was attending her young learners. Anna's decisions. I think that this must be, if you didn't read her presentation, this is where you made a mistake.
Yes.
Yes.
So what was the answer?
I thought it was
I know it.
Yes, Anna knows it, and Leticia probably.
Shifting, I think it was shifting from regular tenure to ESL tenure teacher state.
Yes, as I understood it, she gave up her efectividad, the tenure, as a regular teacher. Okay, Anna?
Yes.
And now she has the tenure as an English teacher, but still at primaria, right?
Yes, of course.
But some of the things that I mentioned here are not so wrong.
Yes.
What
was confused. Yes.
I did it on purpose, but what she said actually in her presentation was that it was hard for her to decide this.
But she quitted? Anna, have you quitted to say?
No.
No, she didn't.
I changed my tenure from regular teacher or primary school teacher to English
teacher. Okay.
Yeah.
So she quitted her tenure.
Yes.
As a regular teacher, all subjects teacher for English.
But there is another option here that could have been true.
Yes. The second one.
Who said yes? Anna. It was Anna.
Yes, sorry.
Anna, because it was difficult for you as well.
Allowing her.
Yes.
Allowing or accepting?
It's difficult now.
Because I used the term allowing on purpose. I think that, was it difficult for you to allow or to accept her going there?
To accept.
Probably you allowed her, but
Yes, of course.
Accepting is in the emotions.
Yes.
Eliana, here, we have her here.
Mine is pretty obvious.
Yes, because of the picture.
Yes, and those who know me.
Well, and what is the correct one here?
Number one.
That is a better. Do you all agree?
And the second one too. And the second one too.
We selected
No, yes.
And the third one?
We selected the first one.
Isn't she well known to most of us?
Yes.
Does she have kids?
No.
They were all right.
And she's very resourceful. For sure.
Yes, they are all right. Because I was tricking you. No, but here, anyone you put, you're going to get the marks.
Yes. But when I answer my own question, I select number one. I'm a pet lover.
You feel identified with that.
Yes.
But none of the others is wrong.
No.
In the case of Anna, there were others that were wrong.
Yes.
I'm asking you because I want to see if I interpreted you well.
Yes.
Now the lady in the picture, that was the picture.
That's you.
The picture really is. She's not.
in another role.
But when you cover your nose and your mouth,
Yes.
and I don't see you much face to face. It's
also
difficult.
wearing kind of
A cap, yes.
Yes.
So you identify her, all of you,
No,
Yes.
I did because she was with me.
because she was with you.
It's me.
But I made him think about
I know her other job, so I could.
Florencia and Lucia, did you identify? No, you see, it's difficult to identify. I like the picture because it was difficult to identify. And it could have been any of the ones I put here. I look for dark-haired ones. I tried because of the pictures, right?
Yes.
And they are in 33.
Yes, we did it just because I knew Florencia Menchaca, Leticia Collazo, and Cynthia Batista, so
you discard.
But Cynthia works in a
Yes.
laboratory.
As well.
Well, that answers another question that comes later.
I don't use cups. That's the only thing.
Then you have this picture, and Florencia uploaded, and the options
Third one.
here.
Second one.
She shared passion and learning with her admired grandfather. It was difficult to summarize because it counts the characters.
Yes.
You cannot write a long sentence here. So if you notice some Tarzan speech here, it's because I had to eliminate words. But the Zucara is at the background.
It's true.
Florencia?
Yes, he was my teacher.
He was your teacher.
Yes.
I love him. I love his singing.
He's a great
so,
person.
Andrea,
Yeah.
maybe sometime she could play some piece of music for us.
Of course. Maybe we can visit Florencia, all of us, and she can call her teacher.
Yes, and he plays for us. The Sounds of Silence in Spanish.
I
love that version.
I love his singing.
Yes, he
Yeah,
has a
he's
nice
very
voice.
sweet. Okay, let's go to Monica. Monica selected this picture.
You got it right.
Yes.
Here you can see there were two answers that were correct. Her spirit of adventure and her determination to reach goals. But that is my interpretation of the picture. I don't know if you agree.
That was a nice description of what I would like to show.
So I interpreted you well, Monica.
Yes, but of course adventure is limited by so many things like resources, time, and everything else. But yes, if it was my desire, adventure would, not adventure like walking up Machu Picchu was too much perhaps. It was amazing, but I'm not planning to do it soon again. But yes, traveling, learning about other cultures, eating local food, and that is amazing. We love that.
And why does the second represent you as well, your determination to reach goals?
Well, somehow the fact that I had to climb, I don't know, for 1 hour or more,
and you did it,
and in my physical condition was a challenge, and I achieved it. So well, I did it.
Okay, and I connected that with your situation at high school also.
That too.
Because you continue with your career in spite of having the tenure.
Yes, I got it in 2004.
Yes.
But it meant something at that time, but it doesn't mean the same now. I mean, it means that I can work every year. That's amazing. But the feeling of the need of constant development and improvement of points of view and learning more, that's something that shouldn't die in a teacher. So well, somehow it's a bit of trying to be a long life learner and also achieving that goal one day. I don't know when, but
you will. Soon.
Perhaps
And,
in 2,
and
3
Monica,
3 years.
besides having being graduated opens doors to continue your career, which are blocked now because of that. You
That's
can
true.
work everywhere as a secondary school teacher, but if you have the possibility of being the principal in a school, for example, you are blocked.
Yeah.
Okay,
Definitely.
but good. I'm happy that I haven't lost my abilities, my social emotional abilities. This is something I feel I am good at. I see people. I see you. I listen to you. I try. I can misinterpret, but you can correct me.
Okay.
Cynthia Batista's other profession, Eliana has already anticipated it, is in the field of science. And
Yes, it is.
what do you do exactly, Cynthia?
I run blood tests and those things for the emergency at the hospital.
And that is at weekends.
Sorry?
That is at weekends.
At weekends, yes. Today I'm working. I'm here, but I'm working too.
They can call you anytime.
Yeah, they did it.
And Mauricio, last but not least, and by the way, you are in order of appearance here. Mauricio appeared last in the presentations.
Okay. Fair enough.
I tried to find some quotes that could represent him because of this and the other picture that I didn't want to share. I selected this one, and which were you saw the answers. The correct ones were.
I didn't even. It was hard even for me. But we decided to go for number 4.
Yes. In summertime, looking for a good family band, visit Pando. That is right, but there are more right.
The first one and the second one.
Yes, I think that the only one that doesn't connect with what he said is an apple a day keeps the doctor away, though, probably. Do you smoke?
I do.
Well, so it does.
Eat a lot of apples.
But I eat healthily.
Yeah.
Okay, so I chose, you can tell them why I chose these 3 correct ones.
Yes, music. I mean, number 1, 2, and 4.
Yes.
Okay, music. When it hits you, you feel no pain. Okay, I like music. I play instruments. I'm not a professional musician, but I've always loved music, and I play since I am 15 years old.
And that connects with the last one, because you have a family.
Yes, we have a family band. My niece is in it. My wife is in it.
And what kind of music do you play?
We play all kind of music, but we adapt it to acoustic instruments.
Mm-hmm.
We play with ukulele, acoustic guitars, and those drums that we call cajon peruano.
Uh-huh. And why family is not defined by our genes? Why did I put that?
Yes, because Max is not my son. The older one in that picture is not my...
This one?
My son, yes.
But he
my
is.
wife's son. But he is,
But
yes.
he is.
Yes.
Okay. So we're done with this Kahoot. This challenge, I think Monica didn't know about it. You didn't know about the challenge?
No, I didn't know it. I just knew the traditional way of using Kahoot.
You can use this to set homework to your students, for example.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's amazing.
Yeah, I loved it when I discovered it. And today solved the problem.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so the Kahoot goes away. Let's go to...
You can download it to your computer as well.
You don't need to download it. I don't know.
In order to create the challenges.
You create the challenges online. You can do everything online. And you can play online, as Monica said.
But not the challenges.
But the challenge needs that the players have the application on their phone.
Okay.
Well, so we're done with first impressions. Something I want to say about first impressions, and you can also share your first impression. I'm taking it off the monitor because you can see the agenda, right? Cynthia had to go to inject.
Yeah, she had to go to the lab.
Okay.
She was called.
Right. So I see here Mauricio and Ana. And then Monica, you can see the agenda.
Yes, she left the computer here.
Okay. I cannot see you, but you are there. You have it open?
Yeah, there's another.
There's another?
Yes.
With no ID.
Yes.
I cannot see the other.
Wait. It might have been disconnected. Just let me use my internet because she took the phone.
If you can see it, okay. You see?
I can see it here. I have it here.
Mauricio?
Yes.
Ana?
This is Cynthia, but they cut the internet connection, so the picture disappeared.
Ah. But you said that this is Cynthia?
I suppose.
No. This is the icon to chat.
Ah, okay.
Cynthia,
Because she says that they cut the internet connection.
but you can see her.
Cynthia is here with her boyfriend, no?
Ah, so it's Lucia and Florencia who are missing?
Is it Cynthia? It's too small.
I see Anna on the document. Mauricio. Ah, there came another
Lucia.
one. Lucia. So Lucia and Florencia are in.
Yes.
And Monica says that she can see it. Well, impressions. I was going to say something very brief. I have already said it. This is the first time I work with Didactics 3.
Yes.
When I started, I expected the usual thing I see with Didactics 1. Having to push people to participate, right? But what happened is that you were so connected and so much that I didn't even need to create the WhatsApp community, which you have. And I was telling Leticia, perhaps I could be in that group, but it's not necessary because it's like WhatsApp. I mean, you are there. So you answer quickly, you participate in the forums, you ask questions. So you have given me the impression of a group. Team. There is teamwork there. There is connection between you, and you respond to me quickly. So it's a very good impression I have of you. And because of the things that you write and you say, I anticipate I'm going to see very good things when I visit you.
Hopefully.
Do you want to say anything about first impressions?
I agree. I think most of us know, to an extent, know each other. Just from meetings, I know them more because they are from Pando. I'm not from Pando, I'm from India, but we usually meet there. And the rest of us, I guess I know them all.
Yes, so you don't know me,
Not
and I
you.
have just joined the WhatsApp group. I didn't know there was one, and Cynthia has just added me. But well, yes, I'm new here, so well, I'm new, but I'm very old. So at the same time, it's amazing you can be both things at the same time.
True.
More impressions?
Well, I was glad
Anna.
to see that I had
Hey.
Yes, it's Anna.
that I knew most of the people in the group, so it's a good thing to be with people that I know from previous years and other subjects. So I think it's a good thing, and we are going to have a good year all together.
What about the platform and what you have seen there until now?
Some things are new. What do you call it? The layout, yes, is quite different. Not too different, but
they
it's
have
different.
changed.
Yes.
They have changed the layout, but
Uh,
you quickly get used to it.
yes.
Anything else about the platform, the course, the materials, the understanding where things are?
You uploaded an interesting book about accommodation.
Differentiated instruction.
Yes.
Yes, that is.
I was telling.
Yes. What?
Sorry, I was telling Cynthia, where are they? And she said, they are in Montevideo. And I said, no, they were meeting in Pando. And then I said, and she said, didn't you read that? And I was trying to find again. And then I noticed that there's a section, the messages do not appear in the rest of the course. That was what I was missing. I mean, I asked you of the time because I couldn't find it. I was searching every document, everything, and then I find that the information is in the messages section.
Here you are. You have
Updates.
You have materials is what is our classroom. Here is our classroom.
Yeah, that I was searching that.
And what you didn't find the messages I was sending.
Exactly. There.
Okay, updates. I use this section to give you news.
Yeah, I see that.
Mine is
Like
Spanish.
when I first access the site, that's what I see. But then I was trying to find the information from today. I mean, about today, and I couldn't find it.
But
And
Monica,
then
It works like Facebook.
Yes.
You have to go under.
In fact, Monica,
The news are on the top.
on top.
Yes.
If you want to go back, you have to go scroll down. Monica, anyway, your question was good because I had forgotten to confirm the time. I had forgotten to do it. I took it for granted and I forgot. You know, I'm working with you. I'm working at IPA with Didactics 1, and I'm working only for this month with Uruguayos por el Mundo, which is an alternative program for students who live abroad and have to finish high school. That was new for me, and they are all different programs online. So I have been trying to be up, to catch up on with everything. I think I managed well.
I have a question.
Yes.
Because you said something about attending lessons once a week. And what is that?
Online.
Like making a comment or something?
Yes. I would like you to have a day that can change, because this is not synchronic communication, that you do something on the platform, because the platform registers your access.
Oh, we need registers.
But just if you get into the platform and you read something.
Yes, I see that you were there.
Okay.
But that was, you see, one has to know one's students. When I didn't know you, I did that because I'm used to having to push people to participate on the platform. I saw that I don't have to push you, you do it naturally. So that's it. I mean, that's there as a generic thing. Well, so let's take it away and go to this thing. The course outline. Here I wanted to share with you what I have been planning for you, so that you have a vision of planning a course, the one I planned for you. So here I have to put it on the screen. What you have here is, first, this thing in red is this is something that I still have to adapt, because this is a training for an imaginary group of students. I didn't know you yet, and I was doing a course for teacher trainers, and I thought, well, the first thing I would probably have to teach Didactics 1 and revisit with Didactics 3 is needs analysis. So I designed with the topic of needs analysis. I thought of a unit, but the thing is that in the course I was doing, it was called course, but this is a unit, because as you can see, it says 4 weeks. It's the first part of our course. Look at the sections, the title of the unit, let's say, the time that I have available to work with that unit, training hours and schedule, it says.
That's what you want to see in our lesson plan?
No, that is an example. This is what I'm doing with you, and you can feel inspired by some of it.
Okay.
This is the description of the course, what I intended with the course, to train pre-service student teachers doing their practical, but the course, the unit, let's change it to unit, right? Because it's not the whole course. Doing the practical in secondary education to design and apply needs analysis tools, include their students' voice, and enhance students' motivation. This came out of a needs analysis in which teachers told me that they needed help with motivation. So, knowing what their students liked and what their students wanted. So what I thought is, well, how can I help these teachers? We have to find ways in which these students can be motivated. If we know our students, if we consider what they like, and they see that we are listening to their voices, they will probably feel motivated. Probably, no, I have tried it, but you can take it as a hypothesis and test it.
Yes.
Then, what I want the students to be able, by the end of the unit, student teachers will be able to design, apply, and interpret a needs analysis. This is pretty much like what you are doing now. To develop an efficient action plan and enhance learners' motivation. That is something accessible, doable, possible by the end of a 4-week period of time. And then I plan the objectives that will be necessary to achieve in order to achieve the other goal. So what do my students need to be able to do to reach the previous goal? To define different needs analysis tools, so they have to read material about needs analysis, to design one of them, to interpret the results, and then adjust action. A lesson plan, a unit plan, an action plan, something that comes afterwards. And how I am going to assess, to evaluate that this goal was achieved. By the end of the training, participants will design a lesson plan based on the interpretation of a needs analysis instrument that includes the learner's voice. The lesson plan will be graded using a rubric that measures how well participants can cater for the students' needs they found using the tool design. So all this is thought before this. What I want my students to be able to do within the topics of the course, what steps are required to reach that goal, and how I will know that the goal was achieved.
Okay.
Does that sound familiar to you, considering what you had to read? The material I gave you for...
Yeah. Is this forward design?
Is it forward?
I'm sure.
Let's discuss a bit.
Because
Taking students' needs into consideration, you mean what?
This, thinking this?
No, that is a way of thinking things backwards, starting from the goals we would like to achieve, and then going backwards into what strategies, how we will evidence what we want to achieve, and then start planning step by step what we will do to get to those goals.
We can discuss why you thought it was forward, because it's this difficult sometimes.
yes, it's quite confusing for me.
I understand, and it is confusing sometimes.
Because I'm used to work with forward design, and the lesson plan is the same. So maybe I'm confused with that.
The thing is, how you organize, or what you put in the objectives, that is one thing, because the objectives, when you think backwards, are a little bit different than when you think forward. Perhaps you're thinking backwards, and you think it is forward.
Yes, maybe.
Objectives comes first.
Yes, but the objectives in backward design is what your students will be able to perform at the end of the process.
Yes.
And what your students will be able to do at the end of the process is different from forward, because in forward, you think my students have to know simple present, my students
But maybe they don't achieve that goal in forward.
Which goal?
Your objectives.
Yeah.
Which ones? Because when you think backwards, it's like the video I shared with you. You are planning an excursion with friends.
We
Okay,
all have different ideas about it.
that is forward. We're going on an excursion, so everyone is going to think differently. When you think backwards, you tell your friends where you're going, and you think before what you need to take. That is what happens in real life. You come here to take a bus. Because you know you're coming to semipresencial. If you hadn't known where you were going, well, semipresencial o IPES, let's say, you needed to know if it was semipresencial or IPES. Our students need to know where we are going with what we are teaching. But
I was thinking that a very clear example of what makes forward and backward design different is tests, for example.
Yeah.
We usually, I mean, what is the most traditional thing is that you teach, and then one day you say, okay, let's have a test, and then you plan the test. You see backwards what you taught, and then what they did, and then you create the test. Backward design would be something like creating the test, or the assessment, whatever, and then think that students need to get this right. So you plan for this. That's the easiest way for me, at least, to think about it.
The example of the bus is the easiest way for me. We all have to find a way, and in the material I gave you, there is a frame of reference that is given as an example of backward design.
Yeah.
Very well known one. Do you know?
The nutrition one.
No. It's the frame of reference for learning English, for learning languages.
The European framework.
Yes, the common European framework of reference that describes what you need to achieve to be at B1, B2, A1, that is backward design.
I understand.
The criticism of backward design is that they say, you are preparing your students for an exam. So, yes, you are preparing your students for an exam if you are preparing them for the Common European Framework. But you can also design activities that are so communicative that you are not really only preparing your students for an exam, you are preparing your students for real life. And they don't have to be complicated. They don't need to be complicated. They can be very simple things like being able to stand in front of the class and talking to the audience, public speaking, introducing themselves. That is simple. But what do they need to be able to do that? And there you're thinking backwards, because they need to know the pronouns, they need to know the verb to be and the have in the simple present. I'm thinking of ciclo básico, right? Not to be complicated. They need to know the chunks and the functions of language to say, my name is, hello, how to begin, how to end. And then you organize the material and the activities so that your students practice speaking, listening, writing the script, rehearsing, and then they reach the goal. Then you reach goals. And that reminds me of one of the materials, one of the books I shared that I want to show you or tell you. I'm not going to open it now. The one I shared today, that is a file that is called, it's taken from this book I brought, this one I brought. I didn't bring everything because my backpack was going to be too heavy. This book that is called The Keys to Assessing Language Performance is not on sale because I brought it from the States on my teacher exchange experience. I bought it from my host. It was used and marked, and she sold it to me like this, cheap, but she sold it to me. But I shared with you chapter 2 here, which is exactly what Monica said. It is as if Monica had read this chapter, but you didn't because I uploaded this.
Yeah, I didn't. I was going to tell you that I couldn't access that, but I understand.
You said exactly what is here, and that shows your experience, of course, Monica. Here, this chapter tells you that traditionally we do what Monica said. We have a syllabus, so we have to talk about a unit on travel, it says. So there we know that the students will have to learn about airplane vocabulary, telling time and dates, hotel reservation vocabulary, giving and getting directions, polite commands, how to use racism food, ordering in a restaurant, blah, 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 blah. But what do you select to teach your students? How do you do to teach all this? No, we can't teach all that. That is a traditional way. If we then, within that topic, we decide on something like go online to check out hotels and flights, then we select from all the things that we had written before what is necessary for them to go online and check hotels and flights. And then this guides you to take into consideration the 4 skills in 3 dimensions, that is interpretive, presentational, and I don't remember the other, transactional, well, but you can read this material.
What's the link?
It's a file.
Okay, but what's the name of the link? At the end.
It's not a link.
It's a PDF.
It's a PDF. Let me see if I quickly find the third one. Here is interpretive, presentational, and interpersonal. So you make sure you cater for all the skills, because in interpersonal they are writing and speaking, obviously listening and reading. In interpretive they are reading and listening, and in presentational they are speaking and writing. So you cover the 3 things as much as you can. Well, here you are examples. In this chapter is good because it gives you examples of how to create a performance assessment task. An idea for end of unit, for end of lesson, for end of year, for project, for midterm.
That's what appears in the syllabus for first year. So I guess this is coming from second, third, and fourth, the forthcoming years.
Probably.
Yeah,
because
I guess so.
The syllabus for first took time to be.
Yes, took time, especially because it was not homologado because of ATD and everything. But what I see is how difficult that is to implement when you have so many other timetables to fit or to suit, like school timetables to hand in a report card.
Yeah.
But also the fact that we all have to change our mind to implement these type of things, and also students and parents expecting escritos tradicionales
and colleagues,
of course.
What happens when you do that mind shift, then you find yourself in another tune that colleagues do not understand, and then you have to find the ones who understand you and get together from other disciplines better. But deadlines are met more easily now because you are constantly assessing your students. You don't have to wait for the test at the end of that chunk of language, block of language that you put in your students. You have resources to give them the grades from different places. Talking about grades, I was reading in Edutopia that grades don't tell anything to our students. Nothing.
This is the worst. Turning a concept into a number is the most stupid thing ever. But we have to do it.
Florencia, Lucia, Ana, Leticia, I mean, interrupt. Say, hey, we are lost.
Hey! we are here, we are listening.
We are following you.
Okay. I was going to say something about grades. I will go to the materials. I wanted to continue here.
I was telling Anna that it's true that we have to change our minds, but sometimes for students it's necessary to get a number or something. Sometimes they ask you to, okay, you said, okay, this is okay, and you explain, and he or she asks you to, okay, which grade I am going to get.
Yeah, and why do they need that grade?
Because they are used to it. Because all the teachers do the same, I think. And
yes, it's exactly what I know and what I think. When when you continue doing, we're in the system, we cannot escape the system. We have to change it. We can change it, but we are in it. I understand. What I read in Utopia, it was a very short thing, like the one I used for the image of the group in Schoology, that when you give your students a grade and a judgment, a written judgment, what are your students going to look at?
The grade.
The grade. And what is the next thing they are going to look at?
The classmates' grade.
Yes, that's it. The judgment, no.
No.
So it's difficult, as Monica said, to change your students' mind, to shift their minds as well, because they receive grades from all the teachers.
Yeah.
You have to convince them, you have to demonstrate them that grades. The same I asked you, Leticia. You couldn't continue, and your students will not continue if you ask them, and how do you know what you have to do next with this grade? What do you have to do? Maybe they know, because they are thinking beings. Maybe they are already managing their own learning and they are aware of their weaknesses and strengths, but that is not the average student.
No, but if they care about their grades, they are kind of aware of that.
Or they come and ask you, and why do I have this grade?
Yes.
Or what do I have to do to upgrade?
It happens to me with the rubric that
The
I created with the rubric with the colors, and the ones who had, for example, in reading they had a red color. They asked me, why I have this color? But it's not a bad mark. It's trying to tell you that you have to improve. That you can do it in a better way.
Okay, talking about that, so how did the patient feel?
Great. It's okay.
We are talking about what I have in the agenda there, the course outline, but naturally we went to backward design and forward design and the material that you had to read for today. And now we are talking about grades. Carolina said that with the needs analysis she shared, the one that you put at the end of their notebooks, was that?
Yes.
You put colors, and then Leticia gave her opinion about it.
Yes.
And she suggested something.
I cannot remember.
But I wrote
Andrea.
Yeah.
Andrea.
Yes.
But I don't know if it's I'm sorry. If it's fair for the student to manage with colors and I don't know, our judgments, if at the end of the year we have to put a grade. I don't know if it is fair for us and for them to deal with other kind of evaluation, if at the end of the year we have to put a grade.
I'm talking to Anna, right?
A number. We have to write a number.
Maybe we can teach them how to relate colors or judgment with numbers.
Student talking time. Monica,
what do you think? Come on, everybody.
Discuss this issue that Anna brought. It's not fair for students because they will be given a grade.
I don't know if it's fair or not. I am just communicating something that brings to my mind and to discuss.
You're not grading for the whole year, but at the end of the year, you say, okay, you passed, you did it.
And not only at the end of the year, because of course, not only at the end of the year. During the process, you mark them with, you put a number. This is what you have. This is what you did.
You have
Yeah.
So what is the solution to this problem? Do you agree that grades do not say anything? Or do not say much?
They don't say much. It's a convention, and every number represents a kind of standard statements.
generic standard. Like 6 is acceptable.
Yeah.
12 is
But,
excellent.
but not all the 6 are the same.
Not all the 6 are the same. So you can have a 6 which is a
Well,
12.
I'm sorry, but as she said, not all the 6 are the same. That's why you have to read your what was the name we call it?
The judgment.
The judgment.
Yes, I agree.
Who has to read the judgment?
Everybody. Parents, students, us.
Okay, but that judgment needs to be clear for the students first.
Yes.
Yes.
Because if they don't understand what you mean by the judgment, it's going to be. That's why I was saying, you in meetings, a teacher's meeting, the principal directs the meeting, and you give the grade, and the teacher says, fuerzas de más. And I have seen that, or cuide asistencia, cuide actitudes. I don't know. They are generic.
In the diagnostic activities that we made, I wrote them. You have to try harder, don't listen activities, try to write in home.
That's the whole teachers or English, yours?
Mine.
Okay.
There's another problem with that. When they get their grades, there's a limited number of characters that you can include there. And if your judgment is
too long,
it's too long, it doesn't.
It's like
appear
a tweet.
Yes.
Or
it must be, yes.
Like a tweet. But I was all this brings me to something I wanted to share. We have a cooperating teacher here who works at Semipresencial, Martina Silva, perhaps you have heard of her. She was the cooperating teacher of one of my students last year. She's an innovator. She started a Tumblr where she shares all her teaching practice. I'm going to share it with you. She inspired me to start Tumblr, to start using Tumblr. I like social networks, but so many confuse me. But Tumblr is different from Facebook and from Instagram.
Can you spell the name?
I write it in the shared document. There you are.
Yes.
I wrote it at the top. You see it?
Okay, thank you.
Well, Tumblr is like a blog. And the thing is that you share the blog with whoever you need and you follow other people's blogs. But it gives you the opportunity of thinking aloud, sharing pictures, videos, links. And I started using to share what I see in my visits and to get students learn from each other and know me better as the way I see.
And what do you need? A code or something?
You open an account.
You log in.
You open an account, yes.
And
you
you're in touch with everyone.
Yes, it's easy to manage.
You are in touch with the ones you want.
Yes.
You look for people.
You look for
and
people.
you send invitations or something like that.
You follow them and they follow you.
Okay.
You send links to what you want them to see. I'm going to send you the link to Martina Silva. But Martina, talking about evaluation, created this. She negotiated with her ciclo básico students a rubric that has letters and numbers. It's a table, A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, something like this. And descriptors of the different box cells. So students read the cell and they know how they are doing. So what she writes in the register and then shares at the meeting of teachers is a code, 1C, that the students understand because they saw it in class and they have it in their notebooks. So students get a 6, for example, 1C. She talked to the principal, showed her or him the rubric and what she did in class with the students. They loved it and they allowed her to use the code in the meeting and what she puts in the register. So she found a way to make meaningful the evaluation.
And how is it meaningful? Because again,
it is meaningful because the students read 1C, 6. right? 6 is the grade they have for the system.
But how does she assign a letter and a number?
Well, you have to see the rubric
Okay.
that I'm going to share. But it's well thought and modifiable. You can improve it, right? But it's very clear for students. They know that they have to do more homework or they have to participate more in classroom. I don't remember the descriptors now.
Because everything has a value, every number and every
It's
letter.
agreed with descriptions of how they are doing. And then she connects the two and gives them...
But how can I apply that with accommodated students? No sé, con los que tienen
Well, because you include in your descriptions, you include those students.
Because, like we talked, it's not the same. All the 6 are not the same.
Well,
so
because
all the A's 1 wouldn't be the same.
your question is good, Eliana, as usual. And I have to make reference to here to the book, Burke's book, which is in the on the platform, that is from standards to rubric, or there is called from formative to summative, I think, because of the version.
Brooks.
That book, which I don't know if it is the same chapter, I think this is the one. This material is from that book, but in my book is chapter 6. In yours, I don't know. You have how to design rubrics.
What page?
Well, it's not going to be the same page or the same chapter. Here is page 111, but I didn't take it from that version.
Chapter 6 is called...
Designing rubrics. You have to find...
Yes.
Is the same chapter?
It's the same, yes.
Okay.
Probably the same page.
Well, in that chapter you have a guide, a very clear guide on how to design rubrics. And rubrics is the answer for accommodation, because the grades are not adequate for accommodation, because not every 6 is the same. But in the rubric, you can have a 6 that is like Martina created, is a 1C or a 1A. So they are going to understand...
Different ways to achieve a 6.
Yes. Because otherwise, you would have to give some students a 12 for the same things that you would give another one a 6. As that is more difficult. Until we change the system.
Martina who?
Yes. Martina Silva. I'm going to write down also that I want to share with you her Tumblr. Homework. Share Tumblr. Do you think that I can be in your WhatsApp group? If you agree.
Eliana administrates.
I have no problem. We always
talk about
questions.
No, but maybe you want to talk about me. I mean, without my
no, but we are informal there.
Yes.
Okay.
Very informal.
You write in Spanish. You mean that you write?
We write in Spanish, and we said dirty words.
Well, I don't know. I'm not afraid of being informal. The thing is that perhaps I write in English and say, bien está pesado hablar en inglés.
No.
For me, it's okay.
Okay, because sometimes things are faster through WhatsApp than, I mean, with you it's fast, the platform is fast. But, well, so that book about rubrics, I also wanted to highlight, and I did. Let me see the time. Okay. Rubrics. Talking about rubrics, I'm going to connect with one of the materials I shared, which is the ASCD rubric, so that I continue the line of thought according to what comes up. Because what happens is, I planned what to talk about, but I am open to what happens. So my route moves right, left, forwards, and backwards according to what you bring. And here I have this rubric that I remembered yesterday and I added. what happened with the computer.
No, porque esa es la
I
resolución.
have no signal, but it had.
No es el descargado. No sé si se puede.
Ah, yes. I opened the material that is called ASCD because I want you to see a rubric that is applied on you. Then you have an example for your students. This is by Charlotte Danielson. She designed this material to evaluate professional practice, and it is very detailed in 4 domains. Here you are. The first domain is planning and preparation. I'm going to move it to the second. Look at how long planning and preparation is. This continues being planning and preparation, planning and preparation, planning and preparation, and it finishes there. And here we come to the second, that is, no, the first, the second, the classroom environment, then
Sorry, did you share that in the resource material, the
Yes.
resource pack? Oh, great.
Yes, it is there. It is called ASCDF, I don't know what, rubric, I think it says. Yes.
Oh, yes, yeah.
I opened it.
I put it at the top because it's the one that you will want to see, to know what we look at here, at the teacher who is going to get to graduate, okay? The third domain is instruction, and the fourth is professional responsibilities. So, as I told you, this is very detailed, and when I visit you in the different opportunities I visit you or we talk and interact, I observe all these things, but not so fragmented as they are described in the rubric. The rubric helps me pay attention to some things. It helps me, but I cannot see everything at the same time. So sometimes some of the things that I observe are together and not so separated, are more global in terms of, let's say here, accuracy or use in future teaching. Some of the criteria that you have here sometimes are together, right? They are not so separated as she describes it. But it's good to have very clear this because it gives you a very good impression.
A question.
Yeah.
This criteria is after the lesson when you talk to us.
No. This criteria is for a teacher to be a teacher.
Okay.
Let's say your end of year profile. I mean, you have to complete your course being proficient at this level.
At this level.
I would like you to be here, proficient English language teachers. Basic is acceptable, but I am aiming at this, or distinguished. I mean, you can you can fly, but let's say that minimum you have to be excellent. The minimum you have to be excellent.
Okay.
But if you read, for example, here I am in proficient response to students. Teacher successfully accommodates students' questions or interests.
Yeah.
It is not difficult to
No,
achieve.
it's natural.
You, but not all teachers do it naturally. You probably have it already, but I have seen teachers not graduated. I have seen, I was a PAD. Leticia and Ana suffered me for 6. I was in 33, I was a PAD there. So I saw a lot of teachers in 33, and then I came to Montevideo and I saw lots of teachers in different areas of Montevideo, beginners, etc.
Which one you read? Sorry.
I read in the last domain, no, the third domain, with the one that is on screen, domain 3, instruction, and I read response to students. Proficient, teacher successfully accommodates students' questions or interests. Just to give you an example. Or domain 3, instruction. Look at this, for example. In domain 3, instruction, using assessment in instruction. Assessment criteria, proficient. Students are fully aware of the criteria and performance standards by which the work will be evaluated. What am I doing at this moment with you? Do you see do you see this?
Yes, yes.
Then I am trying you to be aware of, fully aware of how you're going to be evaluated. But let me tell you, I do not have this table when I visit you and tick all the things. No. You read them. I trust you will try to reach the proficiency level as a teacher, and I will observe depending on your needs. Because when I visit you next week and the other, I will know how you deal with your students, the plan. This is needs analysis again. So once there, I will accommodate my teaching to the 9 of you.
Okay.
You're not going to receive the same thing because I will help you with accompany with what you need.
Okay.
Notice the terms I use: accompany, not teach you. I show you, you learn. Well, so have a look at that rubric. I close it. And I return to this thing here because what I wanted to do here is to modify this drawing with the dimensions you have seen in the rubrics, because those dimensions are the areas we have to work with. You have been working with since we started until now. You are developing them, but they are always the same. They are not thematic units in didactics. They are dimensions.
Okay.
And the dimensions are, let's write them here.
Inside the circles.
Yes, we are going to put inside the circles what you saw in Charlotte Daniel's rubric. Remember the dimensions or have a look at them?
Yes, please.
Planning and preparation was one of the dimensions.
Okay.
Instruction, assessment.
Ouch. And
yes.
If you want, you can help me with the other
Right.
circles.
Professional responsibility.
Instead of instruction, here I'm going to put teaching and learning. But it refers to instruction.
And learning.
You can complete the others.
Can we?
The ones who have access to the document.
Refresh it.
Ah.
I have to tell you something. I talk a lot, right?
No.
Stop me. You have to talk. So, I'm not giving you a good example of teacher talking time and student talking time.
No sabía que existía esto, que hubo presentación.
But you didn't write anything.
We cannot see what you write.
Why?
I just refreshed it, but it.
Because I didn't
You didn't save it.
I didn't say it. Because in order to modify it, you have to click here, modificar.
What was it? The professional responsibility.
Yes.
No, you have to.
You have to click modify, and then it opens the drawing.
Another window.
Yeah, another window.
There.
There, right.
Anna is writing. Hello, I'm Anna. Can you see my writing? Yes, we can.
It's double S.
Anna, you can write in the circles by clicking on modify here.
Because the keyboard also works there.
Ah, sí, es verdad que.
is. Is it okay?
When you say it, we see it.
The spelling? Okay.
I wanted to tell you something.
We pronounce it like that.
I am like that.
I don't know if you spell it like that.
It comes to me and I say it. I am enjoying this moment with you.
Yes, it's like
I am really enjoying it.
That is
so it's
really
okay.
Are you, or are you fed up listening to my voice?
And now what we do? We
You have to say it.
and close.
Yes. Yes.
It should appear on screen. Or I refresh. Shall I refresh?
Yes. It's my computer.
Go with the arrow there. You can
Yeah,
touch
but
the
I
border.
can barely
Yes.
see the bottom. There it is.
There you are. Professional responsibilities. And Anna, what you wanted to write something in the circles, Anna? Someone repeated.
Yes.
So let's change.
So they're the same?
Okay.
Professional responsibilities and professional
Who is going to
development?
change? Wait, one of you. Anna or Mauricio?
I don't know, Mauricio, what do you think?
You can change.
Anna, change it.
Okay.
But are they the same?
Then both of you wrote professional.
No.
She put professional development, but in the dimension of Charlotte is professional responsibilities, and they are the same. I mean, one is inside the other.
Okay.
Which is inside which?
Professional development is within professional responsibilities.
Okay. I will write professional development. Let's erase Anna from here. Perhaps somewhere outside, let's see if we can write like this. Professional development would be connected to professional responsibilities. If I could write around, the thing is that to write around, I have to create texts in the drawing, and it's going perhaps to be a mess. We can make a list here at the side. Learning community. Anna, you should take the dimensions from the rubric I shared before. That were 4 dimensions.
What?
Did you see that before we saw Danielson's rubric? The one
Yes.
This is long.
and it has, that rubric has 4
Are you
dimensions.
sure? But they start.
Yes, expectations for learning, directions and procedures, explanations of content,
Right.
and use of oral and written language.
No. You are being too detailed.
Instruction.
Okay, wait a minute.
Instruction.
You are looking at the rubric.
Should change the name.
Yeah, we're reading it. Wait a minute. We are going to see
that.
Don't go to
what to
the
write.
different criteria. Go to the big dimensions.
Classroom environment.
Yes. The other one is classroom environment. Learning community could be connected anyway. What Anna gave us here is useful anyway. To which one of the circles would you connect the learning community?
Teaching and learning.
Okay, so perhaps.
And classroom environment.
Yes, that is what you have to write in the circle. So,
Okay, we are going to do it. Wait.
a learning community
They
can
are
be
doing
here.
it.
Yes.
They are doing it. Intertexto, why did it go
So
like that? Okay, what I did here, I added what Anna said, what Anna put in this circle, I put it outside, and it will be connected to teaching and learning.
okay.
I have an idea. I can put it in green.
The
I am
color.
so intelligent.
The circle color may match with the.
Okay, because I wanted, you see that you have to think out of the box. I wanted arrows and a kind of mind map. So I was blocked with my expectation. I wanted that, then I couldn't see the solution. When you leave the expectation, the solution comes. and being in group. This synergy is magic. One has an idea, the other makes a connection, another idea comes in the other, that triggers an idea in myself, and then the ideas are incredible. This synergy is also interesting.
So PD should be orange.
Should
or
be
yellow.
I think it's yellow.
Yeah, yes.
Anybody can change the colors. I think it was this yellow, something like that. Okay, so my idea here was that you continued coming up with things that you connect to these circles. If you want, you can come up and we write them. You can write them in the different colors. And here, although in Charlotte Danielson's rubric, it is in teaching and learning, I am going to separate it and I'm going to put it in the blue circle. Because it is something that, although it is connected, the circles represent the interconnection. That's why I made it like this.
And they are not necessarily
hierarchically organized. This is the problem I had when I was starting to plan this course. If I showed you, you would see my suffering and my transformation. I'm going to show you because you need to see that I am, fallible. This is the first, open please. The first attempt of course outline I was doing for you. I made a table and then I organized it in months, March, April, May, June, and they are empty. Have a look. I have the idea to start with, and the topics I was going to deal with here at the beginning. The institution, the syllabus, the needs of the learners, annual plan, action plan, backward design, and learning objectives. More or less, I have been working with that on the platform and today. But then I had to continue. And I said, how do we continue? May, June. What are we going to do? Well, differentiate instruction. We need social and emotional learning. They will need that for work for the classroom. More backward design. Backward design is difficult. We have to go gradually, understanding it. And then, how will I continue? And then I realized I was thinking wrong. I was thinking in a linear way, unit after unit. My secondary school mind was winning the battle, let's say, and I had to forget that and think about the dimensions. So my second attempt is the one I show you today. Only think about the first module, Andrea, because you have to know your students. You have to see what they need, what they say, what they ask. So this is going to be useful to start with, but you will be modifying so many things that do not control the whole year now. Be sure about the big topics that you have to deal with. And then I could start seeing things horizontally and in the circles I like. And that's why I started drawing after Teatro de Verano last night, that diagram. And I went to bed at 2 a.m. because of that. So if you have a look here, you see, if you can see, that I thought in these terms. When, the time, the topics that I consider necessary to start with, the module objectives. And this is something that you don't have on the platform because as it is under construction, I haven't shared, but I want you to see it now. By the end of this unit, student teachers will be able to describe the institution where they work in terms of culture and resources. That means what kind of institution it is, the culture inside the institution. They allow you to participate, they listen to you, they are hierarchical, there are things that you cannot use, etc. And the resources. You have projector, you have computers, the students have cell phones, the photocopies. Then design, adapt, and apply a needs analysis tool. I was fascinated because you were already doing it. Describe the group based on the needs analysis. This is something that you probably are thinking or have already done, and that could be in your portfolio. The institution where you work, the group you're working with, according to what you analyze, the needs analysis instrument you use.
And you have uploaded that, that task already?
Task for portfolio? No, I haven't uploaded anything new, new task. But I'm showing you the idea I have so that you are not surprised when it appears. But I think I am asking you to do the things that you have to do in your work. I'm trying to accompany your work, not adding load. That's what I try. Design an action plan adjusted to learners' needs. And by action plan, I mean the thematic unit is adapted, or the lesson plan that you immediately implement is adapted, or a special action plan because a special situation you came across with is required. And you design the outline of the course. As I'm showing you, I did it, and I imagine you are in process of doing that because you are knowing your students. When I work at secondary school, I usually have it after Easter. Yes. I analyze the diagnosis, and I think for the two halves of the year, which thematic units are going to be in the first half and which thematic units I leave for the second. I coordinate with my colleagues so that we have at least one thematic unit in common.
I did that with a history teacher for the first one. And I talked to students and they liked it. So we came to agreements. And then those agreements doesn't necessarily show in the needs analysis. So I was thinking about rewrite the needs analysis, maybe asking questions more related to that agreement with this history teacher.
Because you haven't applied the needs analysis.
I did, and I corrected it, but this happened.
And you would like to implement another one?
Maybe, yes.
And you are thinking about considering your students' opinion about the interdisciplinary work that you're going to do?
Yes.
Everything is that is coordination is welcome.
Or maybe an extra, how you call it, an apart.
But you can also, after you implement the practice, the coordinated practice, you can analyze the results and do a needs analysis after implementing what you are going to do.
Okay.
So that you don't bombard them so many. Yes. And they have the experience. So coordinate with English colleagues and coordinate with other subject colleagues. With English, I say because it is easier for exams and midterms.
Yes.
If you are on the same units. But things happen to all of us. I coordinated with my colleagues the units, and then I loved an idea with a literature teacher for one of my fifths, the artistic one. So that fifth had a different thematic unit in that month because we were with theater. The other fifths didn't do that. So that is your freedom of teaching. So there you see that I consider the time, the topics, the objectives, the activities that I was going to need for you to reach those objectives, and how I would see that you were reaching the objectives. I am trying to think I have been trying to think backwards for some time now. My mind has shifted, but it took me some time. So how am I going to see in what you are doing in the portfolio? A quiz about forward, central, and backward design, which I brought. I don't know if we will have time, but I have it here. A written report about the institution that goes to PF is portfolio, is what you are going to have there as the beginning of the portfolio.
You're going to share this, or is already uploaded?
No, I'm going to share it. You will have designed, applied, and analyzed the results of a needs analysis. I will see that. I was thinking about an oral presentation about your groups, but that was before I knew you. We could have done it today, but anyway, this is
my idea. We can upload a short video.
Yes.
You can upload a short video. I have to share this so that you give your solutions. The annual plan, which you will have some time in the next month, let's say. I don't expect it for the first visit, but for the second. When they are asked, you are asked. And in the first visit, what I will see, if possible, is how you are implementing what you found out in your action plan, apart from knowing you and where are you in the moment, because I'm going to visit you at different moments. So maybe some of you have already analyzed results and is doing something related to that. Maybe some other of you are going to do it later and you are doing something else. Presentations, I don't know what I'm going to see. I don't have a specific focus for next visit. That was a tentative one I wrote, but I'm going to see you in action for the first time with whatever you are doing within this framework.
Okay.
Does it give you a clear
Yes.
picture? Because what I want is that you have clear ideas of what I have here. I mean, well, there you see that I didn't complete the weeks. I started completing the weeks on the platform and I stopped completing them here.
The assessments are all together or just for that first week?
This assessment is for the first term of 6 weeks.
All right.
So later, in a good plan for a visitor, I should have what activities I was going to do in the different weeks, and how I was going to assess, if I assess that week or I have an assessment for the 2 weeks.
Okay.
If you have a look at it and you look at the platform, you will see that this is going on the platform. I'm delayed with the 3rd week. I didn't create the module, the 3rd week module. Okay. Questions about this? Do you want to... Well,
so we need to have our portfolio not finished but started by the end of April.
Yes.
Okay.
I send you the link.
You send me the link. I have a portfolio here, Carolina's portfolio on the table. A digital one is going to be easier for me to see regularly.
Sorry, I didn't get what you said. We should have a portfolio by when?
Mauricio suggested the end of April, the beginning of the portfolio.
Yeah, the first, a digital one, right?
I think that we all agree that you cannot have digital ones.
Okay.
I have a physical one for me, and I have a digital one for you, and another for the students.
Wow. And the day of the visit, you can have your paper portfolio, perhaps the day of the final visit.
Okay.
Or when we have time in the different visits, if I have time and I can stay, we arrange that in the different visits. I can have a look at what I don't see digitally, because I want to value your work as much as I can. In order to value your work is why I ask you for the digital one, because I can see it regularly.
Okay.
You can use different platforms, the ones you want, Google Drive, Evernote. I have found that Schoology connects with Evernote.
And Schoology has a place for
and Schoology portfolios. They are more or less all the same, because in Schoology, in order to have the different sections, you have to create different portfolios. The problem with Schoology is that if you create portfolios for other subjects, when I enter, I think I see all your subjects.
No, you can choose if it's visible or
not. Okay. Because what happened with some students is that I saw a lot of things that this loses connection from time to time.
I prefer Google Drive because I created a folder inside a folder.
And there's more space.
Yes.
There's more space.
And you only share one folder with me, and I see everything.
Yes.
In Evernote, you have to share the different, they are called notebooks.
Yes.
Instead of folders, they are called notebooks. You cannot share one notebook that inside has all the notebooks like Google Drive.
Okay. And what about this one? What do you know about the Schoology portfolio?
Is this we can have access quickly, but everything is separated.
Yes.
Each section of your portfolio in Schoology is one portfolio.
Okay.
You cannot create portfolios inside portfolios.
Yes.
So Google Drive seems to be the more practical one.
Yes.
what I'm going to do is in the portfolio folder, create a section for sharing that link.
Links, okay.
The link to the whatever digital portfolio you're going to use.
All right.
We say Google Drive because, okay, section for the links.
Are we free to include everything that we want? I mean, I uploaded a book from Educación Curricular. I uploaded the...
There is a section that is professional, as here, professional responsibilities. The portfolio reflects the dimensions as well. So, professional responsibilities would include professional development, as Anna wanted to put today. The readings that you find useful for your practice and for your lifelong learning are welcome.
Okay.
What I am going to ask you is a number of readings, a number, I don't know the number, it could be 2 or 3 perhaps, reading materials that you value particularly, that you should show your how that material passes through your body. So what you need to do to show me that is to write a short, like abstract of what the material is about, and then your personal reflection on what in that material was of use for your practice, with support at the level of fourth grade in the career.
Okay. Silly question. Only in English.
Well, but the material can be in Spanish.
Okay.
The material can be in Spanish. You write in English.
Yes, of course. I was.
And you remind me of something. You are going to quote things.
Yes.
Follow the APA norms.
Okay.
Basically, APA are complicated. I have just suffered a master.
But we are used because they are constantly asking us for the APA.
Notice that when I share the material with you, I tried now to follow the APA norms, so I put the author, the year, the name of the book, and the printing, the editorial, the editors. At least that.
Okay.
Because of plagiarism.
Yes.
You know you cannot even quote yourself without citing.
Yes.
Citing. You have to cite you as an author. And all the material that you use now, from now on, here and at high school, share the links, share the sources, and try to use the common Creative Commons material, free resources, open, because there you are relaxed about copyrights.
Yes.
However, you have to mention the authors.
Yes, and you can also put your materials under those licenses, and you allow other people to use your material, but citing you, because we are authors. We are.
I use a platform called Is Collective.
Yes.
I think I have.
It's great.
And you have to upload some material of your own in order to get other people's material, and people use it and they thank you.
Yes, because we are writers. We have written books so far, more than one book, with all the material we designed for our classes. Monica, Leticia, Anna, tons of materials, and the others want to impose books for our teaching practice.
That generally do not suit our needs.
Yeah, generally we have to modify. Well, but that is part of material design. Material design. Where would you put material design?
What about the course book? Because it's like Leticia, it doesn't have sense for us.
The thematic units.
Yes, because last year I worked comparatives and superlatives with the fashion unit.
Yes.
But in the book appeared with animals.
Which book?
And,
the Gold Experience.
Gold Experience.
And I'm not going to work with animals.
But you have a unit that is animals, isn't it?
No, in second grade.
It is in
first grade.
Yes.
You're talking about because they haven't created the new syllabi for second and third. So you are in the same boat we have been.
I have selected one page from the book.
Do you remember when in 2016 when the book first came up, and they told us in a sala which were the units that we could work with books, and they were like 10 pages that were useful.
Yes, I have the information.
That happens because of the shift of syllabus that we are suffering. Only the first grade syllabus is adapted to the book. You have first grade?
I do.
So
Yes, nothing is adapted. Like the new syllabi, the new syllabus, there are units which are more closer to what the book provides, but it's not completely adapted. Like you have to be very creative to use materials from the book and adapt, associate them with the units and so forth.
You are talking about first grade?
Yes. Well, like first, second, and grade, and third grade.
Touch the new
The book, however, the book is not compulsory. You can use it if you want, but it's not compulsory.
But it is required. When they come, when the inspectors come, the supervisors come, they expect you to have worked at least some of the book.
They arranged. It was not compulsory because the teachers disagree.
Yes. And it's too expensive, and kids cannot buy it, and libraries don't have.
The thing is, anyway, that has happened
forever.
Yes.
Yes.
And it is not a big deal because books are a tool. It's one of the tools we have. So, if you can find something in the book that is useful, use it, and probably you will find something in the book that is useful. I haven't used that because I haven't had Ciclo Básico with that book. I used the previous one. Yes. That was horrible. But I use Speak Out with fourth and fifth, and I like Speak Out. I like even more the new edition, which I found online. I don't have it, but I found it online.
For free?
Yes, Speak Out is very easy to find online.
Really? About that version that is scanned in double pages?
No, it's not in double pages. You can visualize in one page. It's PDF. It looks as if it is in double.
Can you share that?
Mauricio, in the semi-presential group,
yes,
we have shared the link for all the books.
For the Speak Out?
Yes, and the audio.
Can you share it in the didactics?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Because the semi-presential chat is messy.
Crazy.
Yes.
So, you will find some books more useful than others. And here is where you have to fulfill your supervisor's expectations using the book as much as you can, but you do not teach the book. This is not what should be done the way we are working now. We teach communicatively because we want our students to use the language communicatively and learn. So, following the book is out of the options. The book is a tool, the conversation classes are a tool that Leticia is using them.
I did it in 2017.
The internet is a tool. All the material that you have in your house, those old books are tools. Native speakers that come to class are tools.
Last year when I was teaching fashion, I took from my home rings, earrings, and
Realia.
Yes.
Okay, well, you are mentioning a lot of things that we could be writing around the diagram that we started, right?
Andrea, sorry, can we have a brief break?
Yes.
In order to go to the bathroom?
Go.
Yes.
We stop for 5 minutes. Bathroom, 10 minutes.
Okay.
10-minute break. They are asking me here, right? Thank you. I'm going to heat this water. Oh, I wrote mine there. I never touched it.
Qué lástima que no pudiste arreglar canal.
We're back. We were talking here about the visits and some details they wanted to know. And when we interrupted, we were talking about the portfolio, right? So to complete the idea,
Yes.
Okay, you are all listening?
Yes.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, of the portfolio, I was saying that we are going to reflect the 4 dimensions there. So there should be evidence of professional responsibilities. That's why I had intended to brainstorm what you include in professional responsibilities, what you consider professional responsibilities. One is professional development. And the material you read could be in a subsection in there. What you are free is to organize the material within those dimensions in a way that is understandable for a third person. I don't want to impose section with names. I give you the idea of the dimensions, and I will accept different organizations, let's say. I just want to understand, to find things easy. For example, an index in the digital thing, you can, if you open documents, you can have those active links to quickly take the viewer to the place where you want. If you're going to use Google Drive, you will include the folders within the corresponding folder. You can use different colors. Okay, you will see that. Well, professional responsibilities, professional development, anything else you connect with that for the portfolio. Let's think about the portfolio.
What about the reflections?
The reflections have to go everywhere. Because you reflect on everything. You're going to, for example, as I said, you reflect on the material you read. What is more convenient? To have a separate section with the reflections, or to reflect next to what you are analyzing?
I think it's next.
Yes, a section.
I would say,
reflection.
if you are reflecting on the reading material, it should come in that document. You describe the material and you reflect. If you're reflecting on a lesson you taught, the reflection should come at the end of that.
Okay, but we don't have to make a reflection after every lesson.
No.
Ah, okay.
No.
We're doing that.
You are doing it?
Yes.
Maybe we can include some or a short comment from each lesson, but not a long reflection.
Well, reflection doesn't mean long or short. Reflection means something consistent that you are probably thinking when you leave the classroom or when you were doing some activity. Today I didn't like my class at all. No, I liked it, but I am doing too much talking. So I am thinking this. I have been thinking this all the time. I opened my mouth and I told you. So I went to hit the water and I thought, why am I talking so much? But I need to tell them a lot of things in a short period of time. Although you needed a break, for me it's short. To tell you all the things I thought until the next time we meet. So I think it is not so wrong, but it's not it's not what I would like. I would like to be listening. So I was there and I was thinking, how can I make them talk more now?
But we talked a lot.
Yes, some of you talked more than others because of your personality. Monica talked more than Florencia and Lucia, for example. Florencia and Lucia are listening to everything, but I don't have evidence of what is going on in their minds. Florencia and Lucia.
We are discussing some things, but we are listening
Yes,
to
we are
everything
following.
you say.
This is what happens in this kind of class, let's say. You talk, but I can't hear In a physical class, I would listen to your interaction and then I would feel, okay, this is assessment. I would be assessing what is going on by what I listen.
Yes, we are listening and discussing at the same time.
Great. And can you share something that you have discussed?
Yes, we were talking about, for example, when we leave our classroom, how we feel, and sometimes that we think that the lesson goes well or not. What can we change? We were talking about a lesson I taught last week, and how I felt, and that I was thinking of what can I change to make it better, for example, all those things.
Okay, something that she gives me an idea is that you can record yourself, that think aloud. Record yourself and share a voice note. You can do that. And I can listen to you in your portfolio. This Evernote, the social network that I suggested, is not as good as Google Drive because of the way you organize the material, but it's better looking. That is the positive thing. It's better looking. And wherever you are, you can share in Evernote, wherever you are, because you download another thing that is called Web Clipper, I think, that comes with Evernote. So now I'm working, I'm looking for some material online, and Evernote appears to tell me if I want to capture the screen and share it in that Evernote portfolio. And I see, well, this is useful. If somebody gets used to this and likes it, it's
otherwise, we could record ourselves and then upload it to the regular portfolio.
I mean, Evernote is Google Drive with these guys.
Okay.
It look with the elephant green icon and those different names, but it's more or less the same. So, though that is a reflection, I expect, not something mechanic, that you have to complete a table, then they have to put a reflection here because it is required. So if you don't have anything to say that day...
What is good about recordings is that you leave the classroom and you are there, right there, and you say, okay, it's fresh. You don't have to go to your home, write down.
You express your feelings.
Yes.
So you would
You're
know,
in touch.
if it was my note, you would know that I was there hitting water, thinking of how I could decrease TTT and increase STT in this class of mine today. And Leticia and Anna, I'm putting into practice my modification.
Why do you say the 4 dimensions?
Because actually they are 4 in Charlotte Danielson's rubric, but I added one more that is assessment. But what happens with assessment? It's there, right? In this Google document that we are sharing. Assessment and everything is interconnected. It is not that we are going to deal with assessment separately and at the end in October. You are already assessing now. You have been assessing. How?
Yes.
By
the students' participation in the activities that we develop in the classroom. For example, if we give them instructions to get together in groups to see how they respond to that activity and how they feel with that,
so
with that activity.
Classwork, for example, group work.
Yes.
And the students' attitude toward the students' attitude toward toward learning.
Students' attitude. Your diagnostic and your needs analysis is part of assessment also. Here we have the other thing of summative, formative. Well, it went away somewhere here. Ongoing, etc. So,
assessment.
Students' attitude, this can be smaller, so it enters. it doesn't matter. Okay. Assessment. In the portfolio, you can separate it in a section and share the different evaluation instruments that you use, like the needs analysis, the diagnostic test, which is part of a needs analysis, the test, the written test, the oral evaluations, something that you generate backwards, like a performance assessment.
I did it, but inside the thematic units. For example, I create a folder called Zero, Revision, Diagnostic and Revision, and there I include all the needs analysis and the material I use to make a review. And in the first thematic unit, I am uploading the audios, the videos, everything. And then I'm going to upload the test for that thematic unit and a project that I'm going to ask them to create.
Okay, so you will have assessment as Charlotte designed in her rubric within teaching and learning. Thematic units would be within the dimension of instruction, teaching and learning. Well, classroom environment is not something that will be reflected in the portfolio, that will be in practice. Planning and preparation is in the portfolio. Well, I promise I will upload, let's say, a bullet pointed list of the main sections, let's say, that you could have in your portfolio, and then you accommodate them to your ideas. So in the portfolio, I have to put a link to share portfolios and sections. Well, that is regarding portfolios. Then the visits, we were discussing something about the visits here. For example, the ones in Barros Blancos, Carolina and Eliana in Palme Olmos, were asking me about the second period, if they have a module, what is going to happen with the group. And that we can negotiate, because I can give you the feedback there if I have time and I'm not running to another visit, or we can have a talk as soon as possible after the visit through video conference, personalized, because we are going to have these 3 meetings, which are compulsory, but we can have as many meetings as we want through video conference using the Schoology conference or any other Skype or any other thing that we devise.
Even the WhatsApp.
Oh, WhatsApp. WhatsApp is one-to-one, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so if we can meet one-to-one, or we can meet in smaller groups, or the big group apart from that day. That depends on your requirements or what I see and suggest.
I have a question here in Minas. Is it
Florencia,
going
right?
to be, yes, Florencia, a 40 minutes visit or a module?
Well, the first one is going to be a 40 or 45 minute visit.
Okay, it's nice to know now.
If you have a module and I am seeing you in the first one, well, in the second, either we have the feedback or not. If we have the feedback, you need to think of what your students will be doing. If it is complicated because the students are still restless and you wouldn't trust someone else to be with them, we leave the feedback for video conference or something.
Yes, I think in my class it will be difficult to have the feedback because they are going to present a project and I cannot leave them alone presenting.
And wait, your class is going to be Minas, right?
Yes.
Florencia, I'm going after Salinas. Perhaps I could stay. Because I put here that I'm going to start 5 minutes to 4. That is the first period of the module.
Yes.
And what are you doing in that part? Already presentations?
Yes, they are going to start presentation.
Okay, so I will see presentations. If I stay, I will not see something different, more presentations.
Yes.
Okay, then I will be leaving. I thought that was going to happen in the second half. I said I wanted to see, so I was going to stay. Okay, so you continue with the presentations. I write my notes, and then we arrange after you finish working. We arrange a meeting, right? And I give you the feedback. That is for all of you. We are going to be thinking in terms of your requirements. I have to adapt to your context.
Okay, thank you.
Something about the visits, they were asking me how many. You know how many? How many visits I have to make during the year?
5. 5 visits?
5 visits?
No, that's
It should be 5 visits plus the tribunal.
Okay.
I'm not sure whether I'm going to be able to complete those visits, but that depends on each one of you. It could happen that someone with 4 visits and the tribunal is okay. It could happen that someone needs 6 visits and the tribunal 7, or more visits and no tribunal. Those are the alternatives.
No tribunal.
No tribunal means that you don't pass the course.
Yes. It could happen that someone is not ready, and then it is better not to sit for the tribunal, but we are aimed at all of you having the tribunal. We have the midterms, and you need to have 6 in the first midterm to be able to to continue.
Yes.
So that is something I haven't thought yet. The format of that midterm, as you can see,
It's a theoretical one.
One has to be theoretical. The other can be something different. Okay. One has to be face to face, but it can be virtually done. And we shouldn't take one of the meetings time for parciales. That's the way they are organizing things now. That is the way I have been working. For me, the meetings are for this. We need to clarify doubts. We need to guide. We need to do some work. So when I do it online, I generate a test in which you can look at materials, but you have to think because you have to connect, so you need to read them in advance. I give you a limited amount of time. So if you haven't read, you don't know where to look, then I make sure that you study. I facilitate the things because you can have the materials at hand. So if you have studied, it's just making connections and writing the answers to the problems that I present there. That is the way we can work theoretically.
I agree. I totally agree with you because you are not assessing our memory. So, yes, you are assessing our capacity of have a critical thinking and the ability to connect the theory with the practice.
Who is talking?
Anna.
Okay, Anna. Good, exactly, Anna, exactly. This is the way I have been working in the courses I have recently done online. I have finished my master, 3 years, 2 years course and 1 year suffering with the project, the final project. I finished it last December, I think they gave me the result.
Congrats!
So I am a master. I can put
Magister.
I can put it. I'm not a show off, but I am proud because it was an effort. And recently I had to.
Congratulations!
Thank you. I am 51 years old. It was difficult. Miss Ana Lopater from Consejo de Formación en Educación, because some money they discounted from my salary from a job I did last year with Año Cero, the students who. 63,000 pesos they discounted from my salary because they applied the top of 90%. I was passing for that month only because it was one time.
You mean in taxes?
No taxes. If you receive more salary than neto, they apply el 90%, that is called. I don't know exactly what it means, but you cannot collect more than a certain amount of money. And the solution for that is that the person who calculates your salary divides the amount in different packets and they pay you per month. They calculated the 60 hours that I worked the whole year in 1 month. So obviously I was rich that month. But I wasn't because they discounted the 63,000. It is legal, but I am asking them to reconsider, to cancel that payment, to discount it from my salary, to divide it into installments, and to pay the 63,000 pesos that I worked and not 19,000 as I collected. Because I worked for 33, and I mean with love, and now there are teachers starting the career because my colleague and I worked. She collected because she didn't reach the top. I did. So when I signed the letter, not the first letter I signed Professor Andrea Varela, but they gave me the vista of my demand, and they said it was well calculated because the rules are this and this. Then I said, but I'm not saying that it was badly calculated. I'm asking for another solution. So I expect a resolution from Consejo de Formación y Educación. Dear Mag Ana Lopater, signed Mag Andrea Varela. This time I put my title. Okay, I'm not going to receive anything, I'm sure. So, why did I mention the master? Not to show off, it was because of something. Bring me back.
Because it's study time?
Yeah, you were talking about the visits.
So we were talking about the midterm.
Yes, look at what I did. I talked about that because I wanted to tell you that they gave me assignments and tasks and evaluations and all were online, and I couldn't copy in anyone because I needed to have read the material to answer the question and know where to find the information to cite correctly using the APA norms, for example. So this is how we are going to work probably in the theoretical part.
Okay, but we are allowed to have the materials.
Yeah.
And you didn't.
I was allowed. I was allowed. I wasn't paid. That was another story. That was I confused you. Portfolio, visits, anything else about the visits?
Yes, I have a question. Lucia from Minas. I would like to know what do we need to have for that day? Only the lesson plan, materials, and that's it, or anything else?
Starting now, you need the lesson plan for me to know what you are going to do.
Yes.
Your framework, because it can be the portfolio or anything that, because now you don't have paper registers, do you?
No, it's online.
I wanted to know if you were going to check libreta.
I will have to do it sometime, but let's see how I organize my time to do that. Perhaps after the class, or let's see how we arrange that. The thing is that I need to see where in your planning is that lesson. That lesson is within a thematic unit, let's say. Yes.
Yes.
So I need to see that what you planned for that day is part of something that you were doing the previous class and it's going to continue.
So if we have a unit plan, a detailed
if you have a unit plan, you show it to me.
Okay.
Okay.
If you have your notebook, as I have here,
yes, I have something
it's
like
a tool which you can also show me if you want to explain something I don't understand.
Okay.
So the lesson plan, the framework, the materials that you are going to use, obviously, and the portfolio if there is already something, and if you have time to see, if your thematic unit is there, for example, or that is variable, because if you are already sharing online, I will go already with a picture in my mind of what you're doing, because usually before visiting you, I revise the previous visit, what I told you, what you were doing, in order to remember and focus on you. The day I go, I'm yours in the academic sense, right? So I pay attention to what we were talking before and forget Franco and my daughter needs money and my husband sending messages. I try to
turn off yourself.
I don't turn it off. You see, it's somewhere there in silence, but I'm not checking anything. But I think what is going on, I need to be 100% there so that I can help you and learn who you are. So did I answer your question, Lucia?
Yes, thank you.
In which part of the classroom do you prefer to sit? Because my classroom has an extra table, so I have to stall from another.
Okay, I like not to interrupt the connection between you and your students, so I prefer in a place where the students do not forget that there. But that depends on the group, because usually I sit at the back.
Yes.
I have been at the front because the students are used to, and the teacher invited me to be there. And I have been part of a circle that the teacher has made, or behind the circle. I like to have a look from the outside. Tell your students who I am. Introduce.
They know.
Okay.
I have already told them.
Because I'm going to be part of the team. Let's say something.
I don't know how to say, a doubt that I had. I didn't tell them that I am a practice teacher yet, because I thought that maybe they could see me.
Which grade is yours?
Second grade.
They could look down on you.
Yeah, she said, "No, you're not a teacher. What do you say?" So I didn't tell them yet. I will tell them the previous hour. I will tell them.
The previous hour?
Yes.
Why not before?
Because
it's not. You have no time.
Yes.
Ah.
It was yesterday.
Okay. Everything depends on how you transmit messages to them. They should be admiring you because you are doing what has to be done to become a teacher, and it's normal. You have to practice with students, and this is the way it works. It isn't that you are.
I felt that insecurity, especially because of my age, but I decided to tell them the first day. That was my decision.
Yes,
they are fourth grade, and I say, look, this is my last year of practice, and we are having here a visitor every.
I was waiting in the third class if they asked me how long I was teaching or something like that, but they never asked, so I.
You kept.
Yeah.
And yours, what grade is yours?
It's the fourth grade.
Yes, it's different. The kind of questions they ask. Perhaps tell them that as you were planning, that a visitor is coming, and then the questions will come.
Yeah.
Who am I? Am I the supervisor? Am I? It shouldn't take too much of the class.
No.
When I am there, but they should not ignore me.
Yes.
Because otherwise, they will not ignore me.
No.
They will see that I am there. ¿Y esta quién es? And if they see that I speak English, they want to talk to me. That has happened to me, and they interview me sometimes. And I have to tell them to pay attention to the teacher because they are curious, especially first graders. Second, have more experience. But
Andrea.
Yes, Andrea.
One thing that happened to me
Anna.
is that I try to speak in English. Yes, Anna, sorry. I try to speak in English all the time, but there are some students that they can't understand anything, so I have to use my mother tongue sometimes. And I can realize about the differences between teaching in bachillerato and ciclo básico, because I did my practice the first grade and the second year in fifth grade.
Yes,
and the students were able to understand me. But now it is totally different.
Yes.
It's the sandwich all the time.
You have to develop strategies, different strategies than the ones you used for bachillerato. In ciclo básico, they are starting to work in an English speaking environment. So you need to teach them some things, give them some tools to make it easier for them. For example, the language that they have to use in the classroom and the instructions that you give them.
Yes, I did it.
Okay, that is something.
I spent 2 lessons writing daily vocabulary or classroom management vocabulary. They worked in pairs and they created some posters to paste in the walls.
Good. Well,
on the walls, sorry.
Okay, so you have to make it explicit that you are going to gradually switch into the new language. But you have to also make it explicit that you understand that it is going to be differently difficult for all of them. So you are going to be coming back and forth from one language to the other until there comes a moment when they are used to it and you can continue in English.
Okay.
Use the language that is repeated every class, always in English. Once they understand the situation, they don't need the sandwich. What happens is that we tend to overuse that unnecessarily sometimes.
Yes, but at the beginning of the courses, it's
okay. But if you design a way to teach them, open your notebooks, copy the date.
No.
Speak English. Raise your hand to participate. I do this. Raise your hand to participate. Yes. Then jump. But gradually it becomes taking shape in their minds, yes. And they recognize and they repeat even when they are not understanding each word. They learn the chunk.
Yes.
Raise your hand. They don't know how to write it, but it's raise your hand. The chunk. Well, and do things like, well, now we are going to test your listening. Voy a hablar un ratito, por un ratito voy a estar hablando en inglés y ustedes van a hacer esta actividad y esta otra actividad, van a levantar la mano si digo tal cosa. ¿Ok? Bueno, están claritas las instrucciones. Well, now I speak English. So, ready? I start with the activity and I stop when I said it was going to stop. I switch to Spanish and I ask, ¿qué pasó? A ver, ese ratito que estuve hablando, cuéntenme. Assessment. You are assessing, you are giving them confidence, and you are showing them that they can, because probably they will be able to do more than what they think.
Yes.
And they will stop saying, no entiendo nada.
You?
No entiendo nada. You know that the first times I listened to that chunk, no entiendo nada, it gave me stomachache and the emotion that came to me was anger, a kind of anger, because they are not collaborating. So gradually I learned to understand that no entiendo nada is no entiendo todo, but they think that they no entienden nada. Yeah. I have to accept it and I have to lower down a gear and start again differently. So this idea I'm giving you now, I used with 5th grade at the beginning. Ahora voy a hablar en inglés por 15 minutos.
I never heard of that. I like it.
That's my, I should put in Creative Commons. It's my invention.
Okay, I have to.
That's experience. But before, I used too much sandwich. I turned to Spanish for the whole class and I didn't like it. I reflect. I saw classes I saw other people classes. I learned when I was being a mentor of other teachers. I learned from you.
I sometimes allow other students who understand to translate some part of the instructions. I don't know if that's right.
Well, you tell me.
It helps me because when someone really doesn't understand and I ask, can anyone tell what I just said? Or
What do you check with that procedure?
I already know that that person or those people know, but I know that they know. And they show me that they know.
I think that what it is helping you not to be the translator.
Yes, but because there are people who are following and after a few weeks you know, and people who are not, and you notice it, or they openly tell you, and then I say one part of the instruction in Spanish. What happened? ¿Qué pasó? What happened? And I continue in English.
Mm-hmm.
And I emphasize a specific word, whatever. What happened to young people in whatever. And if they follow, it's okay. But if someone really doesn't follow, I ask someone to translate.
I was taught to check the instructions in that way. To ask another student to explain.
Okay, that is not the solution to the problem. It's a possibility. I mean, when you tell me I was taught to do it, it means that someone told you this is the way you do it. This is what has to be done.
No, it was the first suggestion, and
the thing is that I'm thinking as a secondary school teacher, as an English language teacher, what do I want my students to be able to understand my instructions? So if I need to translate or someone else translates, I'm not reaching my goal yet. So I have to see what happens. It can be a solution, a momentary solution, but is it really part of the process towards that student understanding me, the one I want? Is it really? Because if all the time he needs someone to translate me or someone else, then I speak
it's
Spanish.
Not learning.
No, it's not working. It's not working.
Not for that particular student.
Not for that student, and you want to reach that student. You have already reached the other one, the one who is translating. So here comes accommodation, differentiated instruction. That student who translates understands you right away. But this one needs that you give, for example, options in English. So he didn't understand your big instruction. Well, what do you think? You have to color the paper, you have to write something, or you have to do something. Color, write, or do an activity.
I think, Andrea.
Yeah.
I think that modeling situations is a very good way of showing the students what they have to do.
Yes.
Mock the situations.
Yes.
For them.
Depending on what it is that you are explaining, doing it yourself.
Gestures.
Yes.
Or doing it, the thing
And
itself.
when you are giving the instructions, doing what you want them to do, well, now I have this handout here. Yeah. You are going to read the title. I am going to give it to Eliana, and Eliana is going to pass it to you.
Sometimes they don't, or they close themselves or something.
Yes.
Because even when you do that, it's like, I don't know.
Okay, but you know, no entiendo nada is not true.
Yes, and I tell them it's not true.
Play a game. Play a game is not, okay, forget the exercise and play a game in which you do something funny and they have to follow instructions in English. Then stop and say, ¿por qué están jugando? ¿Vieron que entienden? Cuando dije catch the ball, ¿qué dije? Que claro, pero you don't know the language, but you know the gestures. Make them aware of what is happening and encourage them, telling them as many times as you can that they can, what they are able to do. And then you convince them. With time, you convince them. It is not because you cannot use L1. Another tool, like the book, Mother Tongue is a tool. And many times, you need to compare the languages for them to understand what you want them to understand in English. So you need to use the Mother Tongue. But think, reflect, and here's your reflection when you are using it with a purpose that is useful for your goal and when it is unnecessary.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Once you have repeated what happens enough times and they respond, forget the que pasa, what happens.
Yes, yes, yes.
It is, let me see the time because now I
Behind.
This is me, you see. In my house I have the desk, everything is like, Andrea is taking half of the two desks and the poor students are, it's 12:15. We can be here until quarter to one, no more. So let's try to be rounding up. And I know you are tired. And today
I already smoked. I'm fine.
You're fine?
Yeah.
Something we didn't do, we can try that quiz before you give me some feedback of the meeting and the course so far. I have in the agenda, it says, well, we have the didactic talk, didn't we? There have been questions, doubts, and discussion. This needs analysis. I thought of visiting the forum, but we don't have time for that. I am going to have a look at your discussion, but I'm going to mention again something that I remember now. I mentioned and we left it. I wrote down here Carolina Quintana and Leticia Collazo. Carolina shared her needs analysis, the one with the colors. It was a color code and the meaning of the colors.
Yes.
And
in English and in Spanish for parents.
Okay, and Leticia suggested something. Remember, Leticia?
Can you take your computer from the screen? I want to see you. I said that, thank you. I said that I use something similar at the back of the student's notebook, where when we have a test, it could be written or an oral presentation. They have to
write the results.
Yes.
Okay. I copied these two examples because you complemented each other. You give colors and a general description of what the color means, and Leticia suggested her students to write the result in the different skills. And this goes to what we were talking before, that the colors, the grades mean something to the students. I wrote as a response in the forum that it looks.
I'm sorry, but
yes.
they sorry, we have a terrible delay here, but they write for example, when they have a written test in the listening section, they have the total mark is 20. So if they got 15, for example, they write that number.
Good.
Because I always tell students the scales we use.
Yes.
So they know their grade.
Okay, I do the same with my students in Bachillerato, and I think that in that way, if they copy the results, they can see the evolution in one of the skills, if they are going up or down.
Yeah. Yes.
What they still don't know there is why they are going up or down in the skill. That is done with an analytic rubric that can be designed in a table or can be spoken to students. So I wrote there that yours is a holistic rubric because you give colors and the colors mean something, but the something that it means is too general for them to have a clear idea of what they can do now.
Okay, so maybe I can.
It looks more like the grades and the acceptable. It's not bad. I just want you to be aware of how to inform your students better about the different things that you want them to improve. That's why I share the book about rubrics. That was one thing. And the game. And with the game, any other question? Visits portfolio. The planning. I have a presentation by Aldo Rodriguez about planning that was shared to me by him that I will upload.
Okay.
Because it's too long to share today, 37 slides, but it's quite clear and descriptive of the different stages, starting from the diagnosis and the needs analysis to planning. Well, so I'm going to write it down while I share Aldo's presentation. And now we are going to another digital tool I wanted to share with you. I'm closing this document. I don't need it anymore. The course outline, I don't need it anymore. I show you my process and my drafts and redrafts. And I'm going to show you this on the screen. Quizlet. Have you seen this other website? It's a
But it looks like a hook.
It looks like a hood, but it looks like that, but you play online, not on the cell phone, and it allows you to learn before you play. This was not made by myself, and again, if you want to use Quizlet, there I am in my account. You create an account, and you can find Quizlets done by any other teacher in the world that is suitable for you. In fact, I found this one, front, back, and center design, that was fantastic. I didn't have to think of something based on the material I gave you. Or you can create your own and share with the rest of the world. And the students who use it can have these things to memorize, and then to memorize the spelling or something, and to test themselves, to match. This is a game, the gravity game is rather silly for us, but for younger kids, it's like the answers are falling like satellite, like comets on screen, and if they don't answer quickly, it's like a game.
You click on the answers.
Yes. What I am going to use is this one. Yes, I'm going to use this one. That is, in English, will be test, I think. And what you have to do here, I write, you tell me the answers. I'm going to enlarge it as much as I can. This is about forward, central, and backward design. We read, and you decide if it is forward, central, or backward. I don't correct you. You negotiate, and we come up with one answer. Can you read there? Or you need someone to read aloud?
It's okay, we can.
We can see her here. We can see it here, yeah.
Can? Don't worry so much, this is not your final evaluation.
Yeah, but forward, number 2 is forward.
Number 2?
Yes, I think.
Let's see if I'm going to write like this. Let me remind you of something while you are thinking. Forward-backward design, curriculum design, has 3 elements, according to Richards.
Yes.
Which are? Methodology.
Forward sería el tercero, entonces.
Outcomes.
The first.
What the students need to do something.
No traje ese material, qué vergüenza.
What you give the students. The
Andrea.
Yes. Yes.
Perdida.
We not agree with the second choice.
Okay, take note that your answer is what? What do you think for the second?
Our answer is the central design.
Central.
I think forward is the first.
The central design.
Okay, do you want me to change or you want them to write down their answer?
Change it.
Okay. Is central or center that I have to put? Well, no, don't worry.
Central.
Central? Okay. Yes, but according to the game says central or central. I think it's central. The first one?
Central. Yes, central.
Forward. Just say it.
Forward.
And the third? I was going to say that the question about central, forward, or backward is whether the emphasis is put in the methodology, in the input, or in the output. Where is the emphasis put in central design? In the methodology, the process, that is the students.
In the methodology.
Okay. In forward? In the input, the content, the language.
The input.
The input. And in backward, the output. So considering that, think of your answers.
Yes.
And number 3?
Backward design.
Why backward?
Because the objective is to master, to get new knowledge.
Are you reading well?
I think
so. To learn.
Learning is not viewed as the mastery of predetermined content, but as constructing new knowledge through participating in specific learning and social context, and through engaging in particular types of.
The focus is on the methodology.
Yes, central.
You see, I'm helping you here.
So
central, yes.
And what about the first, where it says that
that's not fair?
Students should walk out of the door with the ability to do, and what is evidence that proves it?
The output.
Yeah.
Backward.
The thing is that I think that you know what happens. You wanted one to be central, one to be forward, and the other to be backward, and you were not repeating anything and not paying attention to the information. The next. Again, you have 3, backward, central, forward. And you have to put A, B, or C, according to the text that was taken from some material. So where would you put A? There are keywords that help you.
One B.
1B. 1B.
Yes, it's what we did.
We can't see the screen.
You can't? No?
No. Not now.
Nobody?
No.
We can see you.
We can see you, yes, and the classmates.
In minutes, we can see the screen.
You can.
And
Now you can't.
No.
You can.
And C is incomplete.
Now yes.
Okay. C is yes. I wanted to enlarge it and then you cannot see everything.
C is forward design.
Okay.
C3.
C. And then A.
Is thinking about the methodology. So central.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
central because of the participation.
Yes. A.
Okay. Let's go to the other. Preguntas de opción múltiple. Multiple choice. Here we have to click on central, backward, or forward. Can you read? I enlarge a little bit.
No. Oh, no. Okay.
I cannot read because I see. The problem is I was not wearing my glasses. That's why I cannot see that.
I'm wearing it.
Yes. The central design. The central design. Number 1.
Well, I put what you say.
So it's not.
The second?
The output, the backwards.
Okay. The third?
Number 3, central.
That's central.
Central. And now true, false.
The central is I have very clear. The rest.
And your problem is with the objectives.
Yes.
Because in all the cases we have objectives. But the difference of quality of objectives. The forward design, the objectives are more discrete, fragmented. It is vocabulary, language, grammar, pronunciation, skills. They are separated. And then, as Monica said today, at the end of a period of time, you design a test to evaluate all that. The objectives in backward design is that students are able to perform something communicative. That is the objective. And from there, you construct and you select the discrete items of the language. True, false. Is this forward, true or false? True. Decisions on how to teach follow on from decisions about the content of the course. Is this forward?
False.
Builds backwards from outcomes to teaching. Doesn't tell us how to teach, but tell us what the results of teaching should be. And this is forward?
False.
It's obvious. This is quite obvious. And then we check the answers, and we got 83%. Where was the mistake? Green is okay here. Because it's the problem that I was telling Eliana here. Objectives usually have little role in teaching and assessing the subject. The objectives means
So this is backward.
learning objectives. This is backward.
Okay.
Sorry. This is forward.
Oh.
It's forward.
Like when you say that the objectives.
Yes,
are
because in backward
separated.
objectives is in backward objectives are important.
But are separated by skills, or you say something like that in forward, and not
In
as
forward
a
is
concrete thing.
discrete items of the language: grammar, skills, vocabulary, pronunciation. Only that? Here. Decisions on how to teach follow on from decisions about the content of the course, and this is forward. Because in backward, your decisions follow decisions about the objectives that you want, the goals that you want to reach. Forward, you take decisions out of the content, the fragmented content that you have in the syllabus. You are going forward if you start with the small items of the language. You are coming backwards if you start by the communicative with the problem-solving approach, for example, is backward, because you give the students a problem to solve. This is how they are going to demonstrate that they learned. And then you decide what items of the language they will need to solve that problem. In forward, you start by the isolated items. You don't know where you're going. You take buses. Where? Minibus.
And then they solve the problem.
And then they solve a problem that maybe that you were teaching them items that were not necessary to solve that problem. And you wasted some time teaching some things that they were not going to need.
So backward is the communicative approach.
They come up with that after some time. ¿Para qué? But if they have a problem to solve, the para qué answers itself.
So backward is related to the communicative approach.
Yeah, very, very. And that there is a performance task that demonstrates that they can communicate the solution to a problem. Well, Quizlet, another tool for you that you can make use of. Okay, and let's round up this meeting quite well. Timing, I would say timing was quite well in this class. Teacher talking time, not so much. Use of the mother tongue, well, I used English and that is not a problem with you. Quizlet, I close. And I return to perhaps this here. This thing. This is taken from Edutopia. I have it in the computer, perhaps I'm going to share it somewhere. I'm going to close all these windows. And I'm going to my photos. And well, just 5 minutes to share something about today's meeting. Here it is.
And to what approach could we relate forward?
If you look at the material I shared with you, to which approach, forward is an approach.
Itself.
Yes, I mean, this is the way you approach teaching. That is an approach. You approach teaching backwards.
And it says theory in itself.
There are different methodologies that are within this approach. In the material I shared, you have a table and it gives you examples. CLIL, for example, is forward, it says. Okay. I would tell you that project or problem-solving learning are backwards.
Okay.
But communicative language teaching can be forward or backward, depends. Well, I leave that on screen because I loved what it means and I feel it. That's why I shared it as the profile picture in our course.
What does it mean, ripple?
I guess the ripple are the circles, the waves that are caused by your throwing the pebble. And I have lived this. I have lived it many times. Sometimes I had the fortune of knowing years later that some particular thing I had done, said, or whatever, had modified that person's life positively. But most of the time you never know.
Yes.
But you do. For those times that I have known, I promise you always do. You cannot imagine what you're doing, for the good or for the bad.
Yeah. And you can also know that because of the teachers you had in the past too. Some of them really, I don't know how to say it, left an imprint in you, for good or for bad.
Yes. Okay, so remember those prints, those blueprints. Blueprints. And try to replicate the ones that made you feel.
Yes, never be my math teacher from 5th grade.
Yeah, I will never be my physics teacher from 4th grade. But you never know if what you think is good is going to be good for the one who is receiving it. And I would like to receive feedback about today's meeting to know if it was useful apart from a TTT.
Yes, for me it was
I think it was useful, very useful, but I feel a little bit overwhelmed.
I know. Is there anything in the overwhelming packet that worries you, Anna?
No, I think that I don't know. With time, we are going to do all the things and to meet all your requirements. So I will try to not be so anxious.
I have, in fact, I think I have given you the course in 3 hours because I have shown you all the dimensions together. Yes. But be relaxed that this is a process, and we are going to be working the different dimensions in an interconnected way, in a gradually, how do you say, upwards movement.
Scaffolding.
Forward.
Scaffolding.
Yes. And we will be learning from each other.
And we will ask you lots of questions. I will ask you lots of questions.
Okay. When I forget to open a questions.
Yes, we are going to do it as well.
Well, but I repeat, I love the group you are. I am very positively impressed. And I was telling the colleagues I plan with, Shirley Romano at IPA, she's working with Didactics 3, and Estela Chirimelo.
Yes, I know Estela.
Well, they are both my friends, and we have a WhatsApp planning Didactics 3, and I told them last night, they are on fire. I mean, I put Spark next to them, and they start off. So it's like they are doing everything on their own. I mean, I'm enthusiastic.
Estela was my path. Yes, in 2016 and 2017.
We are very close friends, and we started the project with Shirley. We were one of the first.
I don't know her, but she was very good.
You don't know Shirley Romano?
No, I don't. Just by name.
She's not the supervisor anymore now. Now we have Gabriela Saspe and Marila Mariga, and Sandra Núñez in Rivera.
Yes.
Okay, so it's all for today. We close so that the other meeting starts at 1 in time, and we are in touch.
If there's something which we should say about this meeting is that technology is amazing, but it's so hard to deal with everything, the voices and the noises and the screen and just that. But it's amazing that we can do this, but at the same time, it's like we need to get used to, the delay and everything is kind of stressing sometimes.
Yes, it's stressing.
But it worked well. In general, it worked well. We have to say that it was successful. So thank you. It was a very clear layout of what we are meeting in the future. I mean, what we need to, the standards we need to meet in the future with this course.
Well, thank you, and thank you for being the way you are. See you next week and the other.
See you next week.
See you. Bye.
Bye.
This is going to close.
Bye.
Bye.
We don't need to touch anything.
Bye-bye.
Bye. the microphone.